call it the big time. Got your name in lights. Now you're gonna shine. Got 'em in your sights.
You wanna be great now. You're just trying to find a way out. I don't wanna tell you how to live, but I just don't want you to miss. And I don't mean to scare you. I want you to live, and I dare you to give this life all you have. Yeah, all you We are legendary. We are not ordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. We are legendary. Living extraordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. There's no way out of this. This life is all you get. One shot to take. Don't miss, just make. Don't get it twisted. We're on a mission to live life legendary. Yeah, we are legendary. We are legendary. We are not ordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. We are legendary. Living extraordinary. We are legendary. You will remember our names. Thin our blood. You're one of us. You're one of us. There's strength in our blood. You're one of
Did a nice job. Ball brothers picked off at the 10, the 5. He'll go in on the third.
Ranger Football Night is proudly presented by the following sponsors: Right Legal PLLC Attorneys and Counselors, Complete Land Sculpture, Vanguard GMC Ford Kia and Volkswagen, Veritex Community Bank, Rockmore Roofing Systems, Barrel and Bones Craft Bar and Smokehouse, Mosley Dental Group, and UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center. On behalf of the Jesuit Sports Network and this production of Ranger Football Night, thank you, sponsors.
Hey, Ranger fans. Welcome to the Ranger Football Night pregame show, sponsored by Barrel and Bones. Now, here are your hosts for tonight's big game: Chris Ackles, Kevin Fitzsimmons, and Chris Martinez.
From Ranger Stadium on the campus of Jesuit Dallas, it's a District 7 6A matchup between the Richardson Eagles and the Jesuit Rangers. Hello there, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Ranger Football Night here on Tradio, and welcome to our Ranger Football Night pregame show. I'm Chris Ackles, joined by Kevin Fitzsimmons from the class of 2011. Kevin, we're in for a good one tonight.
Great to see you, Chris. Another home game, our first home game together, I think, for the season, which is great to be with you here on the campus of Jesuit Dallas, our alma mater. We're joined, of course, as always, by Chris Martinez, class of 1978. Thursday night football here again. I just read in our pregame notes, this is the third Thursday night game for the Rangers so far this season, which is the most ever in a single season.
Most in a single season. That's what happens when you're in district with the Irving schools. An unexpected Thursday night matchup, Chris Martinez. This is homecoming night. It feels like homecoming for us as we have an all-alumni broadcasting crew with you. Chris Martinez from the class of 1978, Kevin from the class of 2011, myself from the class of 2009. A game originally scheduled for tomorrow night, and like many high school football games across the DFW Metroplex, was rescheduled to tonight with some severe weather in the forecast 24 hours from now. So here we are, Thursday night, sunset coming, and a great matchup coming between Richardson and Jesuit. Chris Martinez, 11 consecutive wins, I believe it is, for Jesuit over Richardson, but this is a totally different Eagles team than we've seen in years past.
Yeah, this is going to be a challenge tonight. I was looking at their last 3 games, and they average 62 points a game. Last week, they beat J.J. Pierce 64-6, and if you recall, we beat J.J. Pierce 17-14. So something's got to give there, to keep that win streak alive.
No doubt something's got to give. Richardson is 3-1 in the district, just like the Rangers. Jesuit's loss, of course, is to Lake Highlands here at home a few weeks ago. Richardson's loss is to Berkner, which is the Rangers' next opponent next week out at Wildcat Ram Stadium. So we're excited for a good one tonight. Kevin, Chris, we'll come back to our booth, but let's go right away to the head coach's interview as Brian Henry, Sports Information Director, always sits down with Coach Hickman. So let's hear from Coach Brandon Hickman in our pregame show interview right now.
Pregame show in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Thursday Night Football. It is the Barrel and Bones pregame show. Brian Henry here with head coach Brandon Hickman. And Coach, another trip to Irving and another Ranger victory last week.
Yeah, it was a short week playing on Thursday night, and we were raring to go, and I thought the kids played really hard, and our goal was to come out and start fast, and I felt like we came out a little bit slow off the block punt there, but we recovered, and the defense got a big stop there on a short field, and then we were able to settle in and play the rest of the game. And proud of the fight, proud of the effort of the kids. We executed well. I didn't feel like there were too many penalties in the game, which was good as well. And then having a couple turnovers was big on defense. I think we forced 2 turnovers on defense, which really helped put us in a good position offensively.
And that offense, it obviously came alive, scoring 42 points. And you continue to get guys healthy again. How does that help with your receiving core?
Yeah, Harlan Buechler back healthy was big for us. He's very fast, and so he's a guy that can get over the top of defenses and kind of lay some pressure off Kirby over there. Now you got to decide who you're going to cover, and both of them are doing really well this year. Now that Harlan's back, I feel good about the way he looks and the way he's moving around in practice, and he caught a lot of balls this week, and so now we've got our receiving core healthy, maybe for the first time this year, going into the last 3 game stretch of the season, so I'm real excited about that.
You kind of glossed over it, but Cade Kirby had just a phenomenal game the other day with three touchdowns, 2 for sure, 1 not so close. But what do you see out of him, and what does that mean to you?
He's a leader. Cade's the leader of our offense. He's a good leader for our team as well. He holds his teammates accountable, which is rare this day and age with kids. If things aren't going right in practice, he's going to let them know, and he's going to push them to be better. And I think that's having a player like Cade Kirby is almost like having an assistant coach with you, that's pushing the guys. And I love him for that. I love the person that he is. He's a great kid. He's going to end up, doing very well when he leaves Jesuit. But just a wonderful season. I knew last year with his injury, it was a bummer. He was out all year, and I know in the spring he showed flashes of being really good, and he surpassed that. I mean, he's our leading receiver and just had an outstanding year.
So the offense was clicking last week. This week, the defense might have one of their tougher challenges. You played some tough teams, but what do you see from out of this Richardson offense? I mean, their quarterback is one of the most dynamic in the district, and they've got a strong running game to go with it. I mean, they put up 60 points each of the last 3 games. How do you slow that down?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it during the season. That's why people wonder why we play a tough schedule. This is why. Our kids have seen the speed. We've seen this offense before 2 or 3 times. And we'll have a great plan. Coach Woods and his staff put a great plan together. We're going to go out and execute the game plan, and we're going to tackle well. We're going to create turnovers, and we got to do our part on offense, getting first downs, not staying and getting in 3rd and long situations, and controlling the game. So we have a great game plan put together, and it's one of those deals you focus on you. I mean, yeah, you focus on your opponent, but we're trying to get better every week, every day in practice, to where we're peaking towards the end of the season. And right now, I feel good about where our team is.
You always want to be getting better and peaking, and obviously one of those units, it seems like your defense has been getting better and better each week. And I'd like to bring in Don Woods here, our associate head coach and defensive coordinator. And Don, what have you seen from the defense over the course of the year that has led them to these last 3 games and what we're about to try to do here?
Well, we try to stay consistent with what we do. We concentrate each week on fundamentals and getting people in the right position. And I think our defense has just gotten better and better each week. We played some good games early. We had a problem giving up some big plays, so I think we're doing a lot better job of limiting the big plays. We're tackling a whole lot better and getting off blocks, and then now we're starting to rack up some turnovers. I think you said we had 9 in the last 4 games, and when you're getting turnovers, it gives you a good chance to win.
This is a Richardson offense that likes to throw it, and Lucas Sawyer's got 1,300 passing yards right now, and so how do you contain him and keep their running attack as kind of their bread and butter to try to limit the passing?
Well, Sawyer's a 2-year starter, like you said. The thing that worries me about him is, boy, he's got a real quick release. They got a huge offensive line that does a good job protecting him, and he's got a really quick release. They're a true spread offense. They'll go a spread, what we call a doubles, 2 receivers on each side. They'll go some trips, and then they'll go some 2-back but they're a true spread offense. He throws it quick. He's got 2 speed burners on the inside at slot at number 3 and number 4. Very good speed, quick, and hard to get down when they get the ball because they're so quick. And he's got 2 really tall receivers, number 17 and number 6, on the outside edges, and we'll have to do a good job and try to get our corners some help at covering them. But we got to try some way to get some pressure on them and make him throw it off balance a little bit. They got a really good, strong running back, kind of a power back. Number 21, they give him the ball a lot and let him read where to go behind those big offensive linemen, and he'll be hard for us to stop too. But we're going to do a good job reading our keys, and you got to tackle good. We always tell our guys, hey, you can't tackle, you can't win, and we're going to have to make sure that we really shimmy down, getting good balance, and get our eyes up, and really do a good job tackling all night Thursday night. Okay,
and Coach, I usually wrap up these with some keys to the game. Before I get to that, just real quickly, you guys participated in the Buddy Walk again this last Sunday. What is that, and how do you feel like that has an impact on your kids?
Well, we've been doing the Buddy Walk for years here, and Luke and Paul are captains, and they're a big part of our program over the last 28 years, the backbone of our program. So I think our kids showing support for Luke and Paul and all the other kids with Down syndrome in the greater Dallas area, I think is important. Showing that our young men, there's bigger things in life, right, than what we're doing now and in these games, and it's these kids and making a positive impact on them. So we raised a lot of money for the Down Syndrome Guild of Dallas, and we had a lot of kids that turned out at the event and did a really good job. I really loved watching our guys interact with the other Down syndrome kids and just interact amongst each other. We had a lot of compliments about how well behaved our Jesuit football team is, and that's important to me, and that's important to our coaches, that our kids act right when they're on campus and when they're off campus. And we can't say enough about Paul and Luke, the job they do for our team, and I know they'll be raring to go Thursday night.
So Thursday night, what we heard Coach Wood say, tackling's pretty important. What are some other keys to the game that'll result in a victory?
It's a simple game, like Coach Wood said. You got to tackle and you got to block. You got to stay on your blocks. You got to finish blocks. They got a good D line. We're going to have to control the defensive line, and take it to them. And like we talked about earlier, we alluded to, turnovers. Maybe get a couple turnovers. And one thing we didn't talk about that I'd like to see us do is win the special teams battle. Whether that's returning a kick, blocking a punt, making a field goal in a certain part of the game. I think those points are going to matter. I think you can really shift the momentum of a game by winning the special teams battle. So it's going to come down to special teams. It's going to come down to tackling and blocking, creating some turnovers, and then also, scoring. We got to score points, and we got to get first downs, and we got to get ourselves out of third and long situations and more manageable downs, third and short, third and 5, that kind of stuff. So, we've had a good week of preparing. The kids are ready to play. We have Lightning coming in Friday night, so we decided to push the game up to Thursday. I think this is a better move for us because we've got Ranger Day on Friday as well, which is it's a lot of fun, Ranger Day, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'd rather play the game the night before, and then we can enjoy Ranger Day Friday. So, and then I just want to, also, thank all the alums that I know will be coming out to the game. There's people's reunions. I've had a couple text messages about guys that are coming back for their reunion. We appreciate them. We appreciate their support. It feels like yesterday when we coached some of these young men that are now, successful, and their fathers, and we're getting to the age now we're about to coach some of their kids. So, but I just want to give a shout out to all of our alums out there. Really appreciate them and all they do for Jesuit.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and good luck tonight. This has been the Barrel and Bones pregame show. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas and our community. Support local and catch every Jesuit game on the big screen at Barrel and Bones. Order online for delivery and use code Jesuit, Jesuit, for $5 off your order.
Brian Henry, and thanks to Brian Henry, and a big thanks to head coach Brandon Hickman for sitting for the pregame interview this week. Always a joy to hear from Coach Hickman. We hope to hear from him after the game as well, just as we have over the last few weeks, as the Rangers are about 15 minutes from taking on the Eagles. The pregame show is brought to you by Barrel and Bones Craft Bar and Smokehouse. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas and the Jesuit community. Support local and catch every Jesuit game on the big screens at Barrel and Bones. Order online for delivery and use code Jesuit for $5 off your offer. Barrel and Bones, our pre-game partner. Kevin, it's always great to hear from Coach Hickman. We heard from him last week. He was particularly proud of the way the defense played last week. They almost put up a goose egg, ended up allowing just 7 points against MacArthur. We're going to need another good defensive performance tonight against the Eagles for the Jesuit Rangers to stay in the win column.
Especially as Chris Martinez mentioned, with the Richardson Eagles putting up over 60 points in the last 3 contests, all of those in district. Now, a few of those may be to be expected against teams like Irving Nimitz. Maybe that's a little bit to be expected, but J.J. Pierce, Jesuit was in a lockdown matchup, eked out a win a couple weeks ago in early October against J.J. Pierce, 17-14. And Eagles beat them last week by a score, I believe, of 62-7. Is that right? 64-6. Thank you, Chris Martinez. So that's a big win and a big margin of victory for the Eagles. We'll see, as you mentioned, Chris, if this Jesuit defense can lock down early and make sure that the Eagles don't get off to a hot start.
Richardson averages 40 points a game, better than 420 yards of total offense for the Richardson Eagles for their game. So we'll see if the Jesuit defense can keep them honest. A lot of that comes from their senior quarterback, Lucas Sawyer. Not only has he had some high production games, he's also really accurate. He's thrown just 1 interception in this season so far. Excuse me. This was all in the first game, I should say. He's thrown interceptions in only 1 game. There were multiple in that game. But that was the season opener against Manfield Lake Ridge. Since that game, he's had 90 consecutive pass attempts without throwing an interception. Of course, Jesuit scored on an interception last week. The Jesuit defense has been able to force turnovers in almost every game this season. So we'll see if that defense can hold up tonight against the Eagles of Richardson, who average better than 40 points a game. On the offensive end for Jesuit, Kevin, last week the second quarter saw 28 points for the Rangers. It was a great game for multiple quarterbacks, of course, both Barry and Livingston, and a phenomenal game for senior wide receiver Cade Kirby.
Cade Kirby, as you mentioned, 3 touchdowns on 5 receptions last week for the Rangers. An absolute monster night. All 3 of those touchdowns coming in the second quarter. He leads the district, I believe, Chris, in receiving touchdowns this year. It's 8 total. So the 3 last week, obviously, all contributing to that total number. But Cade Kirby has solidified himself in this strong Ranger receiving core as the top dog. We look to see more, I think, all night from Harlan Buechler again, who's back in the lineup last week for the Rangers and will be again tonight. A speed demon on the outside. I think he was getting his sea legs back under him a little bit on a couple of plays last week. We'll expect him to have a big night as well. But we've talked about this all season long, Chris. Beck Berry makes the transition in the offseason from junior to senior year, from receiver to quarterback. Not necessarily an easy transition to make at the varsity level. He came up through the ranks freshman and sophomore year playing quarterback, but to jump right into the varsity roster as the starting quarterback and take over this team took him a couple of weeks to get his feet under him. Now he's throwing with accuracy. He's throwing with poise. He's the leading rusher on the team as well, with 175 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So I think Beck Berry has really solidified himself now as a leader of this Ranger team, a leader of this Ranger offense. And I expect this Ranger offense to continue to perform better and better each week as the rest of district goes on.
Barrel and Bones is our pregame partner. Veritex Bank is our title partner. Veritex Bank is proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Dallas Rangers, sharing a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn how our shared values make Veritex Bank and Jesuit a winning team at veritexbank.com, member FDIC. Kevin, you talked about quarterback Beck Berry switching from wide receiver into the quarterback position this year. Obviously, that's challenging to do from a physical, athletic perspective. Also from a mental perspective, you're now leading the offense. You're calling plays in huddles. You're making split-second decisions that a quarterback has to make. He's had an impressive few games these last few weeks. Tonight will be a real test taking on Richardson.
Absolutely, Chris. And I think, like we've said, it takes time to get into the position, especially of quarterback, where you're focusing on so many things at the line of scrimmage. Every play, I expect Beck Berry to have a good night tonight, senior year, homecoming, the receiving core, again, continuing to develop around him. We'll look to see if Lucas Meyer, starting running back for the Rangers, Lucas Meyer, for the Rangers, can get started. We've been getting his name wrong all season long. Sorry to Lucas and his family. Lucas Meyer, number 2, senior starting running back. Hopefully he'll be in the lineup in full swing tonight. I think we saw him a little bit in and out last week, maybe dealing with a little bit of an injury. So, but a great night here. As we mentioned, it's Thursday night football, but the sky is beautiful out in front of us here over Ranger Stadium, and I think it's going to be a good homecoming this evening for the Rangers.
Yeah, Jesuits offense will be going up against an impressive Eagle defense. Richardson leads the district in scoring defense, allowing just 15 points per game. Something's got to give for the Jesuit Rangers if they want to have an opportunity to win this game tonight. We mentioned Barrel and Bones, our pregame partner. Barrel and Bones is proud to support Jesuit Dallas in our community. Support local. Catch every Jesuit game on the big screens at Barrel and Bones. You can order online for delivery. Use code Jesuit for $5 off your order. Thank you to Barrel and Bones, our pregame partner. Just before, as we were going through the coach's interview, we got a nice hello from co-offensive coordinator Coach Patrick Radican. We're looking forward to seeing what his offense can do tonight to try to put up points. Kevin, you mentioned it's Jesuit homecoming. A little bit strange to have that homecoming game move from a Friday to a Thursday, but man, how much fun is homecoming week if you're a Jesuit student?
Well, we talked about it with Coach Hickman last week, Chris. If you remember in the post-game interview, they had a great win against MacArthur, a bounce-back win after the loss to Lake Highlands in district. So it was an exciting week he talked about this week. Lots of festivities going on around homecoming. You got the dance that happened last weekend already for the Jesuit and Ursuline students and their guests. Now it's homecoming on a Thursday. Tomorrow is Ranger Day for these guys here, a classic Jesuit event where the seniors especially, but all the Jesuit students take place in kind of a spirit sort of a day. We'll have a lot of good festivities going on around that tomorrow before the weather comes in. So it is kind of a lot to manage, I think, if you're a student. Week by week, you got games every Friday, now Thursday nights over the last few weeks, but super fun, and I think we're going to have a great crowd here tonight as the stadium continues to fill out about 10 minutes before the kickoff.
Tomorrow night, also reunion night over at the Terry Center for Jesuit alums in the 0s and 5s. We had alumni director Sean McMullen on with us at halftime last week. This week, our halftime guest will be the class of 1986, Chris Cook. He was recently named this year's Distinguished Alumnus. He'll be receiving the Distinguished Alumni Award from Jesuit later this month. We're excited to chat with him at halftime, Kevin.
Yeah, Chris is such a great guy and a wonderful recipient of the award. As we look down, actually, we can see him out on the track with his family, his wife, Christine, and his son, Christopher, class of 2021. So if he comes up into the booth for the halftime interview, Chris, with his son, Christopher, I believe, it's going to be myself, Chris Ackles, Chris Martinez, Chris Cook, and Christopher Cook. I'm going to have to change my name, I think, by the end to make sure that I can fit in with this crowd of Jesuit alums named Chris. But, yeah, really excited for our conversation with him tonight. He's a great guy. I had a chance to meet him a couple of weeks ago, and we'll talk a little bit more about kind of the fun connection there.
That's awesome. We're excited to chat with Chris Cook at halftime. The images you're seeing now, you're seeing the Jesuit band. You saw the Rangerettes earlier. You saw Jesuit cheerleader. Of course, the Richardson Eagles cheer team, and their team is warming up over on the sideline as well. We've got 7 minutes to the opening kick. Chris Martinez, this is a matchup that for a long time has been an automatic win for Jesuit, but not tonight. This Richardson team can play.
Yeah, when you put up 64 points in a game against J.J. Pierce, you know you can play. The Jesuit has to be aware of their three-headed monster in the backfield. They got 3 running backs. They're all averaging 7.7 yards a carry, and they've got 12 touchdowns throughout all of them. Number 21, Zach Brazil, you will see. 28, Tydrick Hamilton. And number 20, Rico Harrison. Once again, 12 touchdowns. Also, on defense, number 1, 6'4", 295, Jamian Winfield, the defensive tackle. He is already committed to USC. He is the real deal. And also, not only is he a defensive tackle, he's even carried the ball a handful of times. 6 carries for 2 touchdowns.
Oh, my goodness.
6'4", 295, is that what you said?
Tough to stop in the red zone would be my guess.
We'll see him take the field along with the Rangers and the Eagles coming up in a little more than 5 minutes. We'll take a quick break here on the Barrel and Bones pregame show, and when we come back, we'll kick off the action. It's Jesuit Ranger football night on Tradio. Thanks for being with us.
Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm calling because I wanted to tell you about this all-boys Catholic school here in Dallas. They have so many different classes, even AP and dual credit ones, and over 100 clubs and sports I can participate in. There's also a huge focus on faith and service, which I'm really interested in. Gosh, there's so much more. They have an open house on November 16th to learn about it. If we go check it out, I really want to. Oh yeah, I'm so excited I almost forgot. The school's name is Jesuit Dallas. Love you. Bye.
With all of the classes, clubs, and activities here, the possibilities are endless. I honestly don't know of anywhere else where I could be an innovator, an athlete, and a leader while pursuing rigorous academics and forming lifelong friendships. There's truly something for everyone.
Welcome back to Jesuit Ranger Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. A big thank you to the folks from Tradio for helping to make this happen. It's homecoming night here at Ranger Stadium, Gary A. Pasquay Field. The referees are out. The coin toss is just a few minutes away, and we're just about to get started with game action here on Thursday night edition of Jesuit Ranger Football. Kevin, Chris, one of the things that we had planned to talk about back for the first game of the season. We had so many technical difficulties in that first game that we didn't really get a chance to have the full conversation. But I want to take just a moment and talk about the history of this broadcast. This broadcast started, Chris, you'll know better than I will, 27 or 28 seasons ago in the late 90s.
This is year 28 for us.
This is year 28. You've been a part of every one of those 28 seasons. It started when Tom Walsh and Jack Fitzsimmons went to, I believe it was KAAM 770, and it was originally a radio broadcast. And look where we are today, Kevin, with all the bells and whistles.
You mentioned it, Chris. Thanks to our friends at Tradio for this amazing production. Chris Martinez and I were talking about it just before the game, just before you arrived here this evening, how far this broadcast has come from setting up phone lines and trying to figure out different cables, calling folks on cell phones to see if the connection was working, and all of a sudden you look at all the wires and the boxes and the computer screens and the monitors we have in here, the cameras that we have up top. I mean, this has really become an amazing production, and it's great to see. I think it allows folks to really enjoy the broadcast in a new way.
No, there's no doubt about it, and it was a brainchild of Tom Walsh and Jack Fitzsimmons. They did it for 25 years together, and we'll get a chance to talk about that in just a bit. You saw the Richardson Eagles take the field. You see the big cross shield logo with the Jesuit Rangers as the home team is having its kind of final huddle, and we'll get a chance to take the field in just a moment. Tom Walsh has carried this broadcast for so many years. Of course, he's with us many nights. He'll be back with us for the Nimitz game, I believe, in a few weeks. Kevin, what a blast for you and I to get a chance to do this.
This has been so fun, Chris. Thank you again for the opportunity here to be with you in the broadcast. As you approached me earlier this summer, we were talking about what this could look like and how fun it could be, and great, obviously, to have the experience and the wisdom of Chris Martinez with us as well. All the games that he's done, he's made this so easy for us. Of course, thanks to Brian Henry, our sports information director here at Jesuit Dallas. As you see the captains take the field there, it's number 4 on the right. That's Cade Kirby, senior wide receiver. Number 3, Tanner Krug, our starting defensive end. Number 9, quarterback Beck Berry, and that's number 72, offensive lineman Luke Cutler, who's going to, I believe, has now had a season-ending injury, unfortunately, but Luke Cutler still out there with the Jesuit captains, which is great to see. Let's talk a little bit about these uniforms, Chris, which we know are new as of a couple of weeks ago. I believe the first game that they wore them was against Lake Highlands a few weeks ago. And these are the new Under Armour uniforms that Coach Hickman told us about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Under Armour calls them the UA Blur uniforms. Jesuit will be the first school in the country to wear Under Armour state-of-the-art Blur uniforms. I believe those may kick in next year, but really cool unis tonight. These are them tonight.
These are them.
That's awesome. And you got, of course, the gold helmet, the blue top, and that little bit of a Notre Dame look for Jesuit at
Coach
home.
Hickman said that's what he wanted it to look like. You get to see him every week. So what do you think? It looks pretty close. Maybe the gold's a little bit of a different color.
I tell you, we get to be a lot closer to the action here rather than way, 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 way up top of Notre Dame Stadium. As we have the coin toss happening right at midfield, Kevin, let's get to the keys to the game for tonight. As you'll see them, a lot of them have to do with the defense.
Yeah, we talked about this Richardson offense and how strong they are. So the defensive keys to the game are obviously on Coach Hickman's mind. Pressure the quarterback, number 1. We talked about how strong he's been. I believe he's the second best quarterback in the district after the Lake Highlands kids. So this is really going to be an important opportunity for our defensive line. We mentioned Tanner Krug, captain. Tackle, tackle, tackle. You can see as we really want to make sure that these don't have explosive plays on the offensive side for Richardson. And last but not least, we got to stop the run. Chris Martinez mentioned Brazil, who's their leading rusher. He's going to be a stud, hard to stop. So these are all defensive keys. I think Coach Hickman knows that our offense is going to be fine. Can we, on the defensive side of the ball, get the stops we need to make this a close game, a competitive game, and something where the Rangers can take home a win tonight?
The Eagles average almost 200 yards a game on the ground. They average better than 420 yards a game in total. So we'll see if the Jesuit defense can tackle, pressure the QB, and stop the run. Those are tonight's keys to the game here in the Barrel and Bones pregame show. Richardson won the toss. They'll take the ball, so they will possess first and try to get their offense moving to see if they can start things off as we see the shield again and we see the Jesuit Rangers. Here they come on homecoming night. Here come the Rangers.
Great to see the Rangers coming out of the cross and shield, as you mentioned, Chris. This is a great crowd here as you hear the bells ringing, as we see the Jesuit students lined up on the far side of our stands here. I think that the atmosphere has really started to pick up even in just the last few minutes. So Thursday night homecoming, but still a strong crowd. You can see you saw the Rangerettes with all their mums on as the team ran through. They'll line up now for the opening prayer and for the national anthem. But this is going to be a great night of football.
As we turn it over to public address announcer John Schmeltz for tonight's opening prayer and national anthem, we'll take a break and listen in here at Ranger Stadium. You're watching Jesuit Ranger Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network.
We gather tonight in a spirit of joy and thanksgiving for this homecoming game. We thank you for the gift of this community, our families, friends, alumni, benefactors, and all who have shaped Jesuit Dallas. Bless our student athletes, our band members, and our spirit teams for both Jesuit and Richardson. Grant them courage, discipline, and respect for one another as they compete. Keep all players safe from injury and help them to play with integrity and heart. We ask your blessing upon our coaches, officials, and all those who make this game possible, and upon our families and fans who support these young men with such generosity and spirit. May this game remind us that victory is not only found on the scoreboard, but in the way we honor one another, show good sportsmanship, and give our best for the greater glory of God. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. St. Ignatius of Loyola and Aloysius Gonzaga, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And now, remain standing and please remove your hats to honor America with the playing of our national anthem performed by the Jesuit Ursuline Ranger Band.
I'm not in Rehoboth Beach.
It's Ranger Football Night here on Homecoming Night at Ranger Stadium. Thanks for joining us on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Kevin, it's 76 degrees tonight. Tomorrow's weather a little shaky. Tonight's perfect. 76 degrees, 8-mile-an-hour winds out of the southeast. Humidity at 65%. It's a beautiful night for football here at Ranger Stadium. And just before we get started, let's meet tonight's starting lineup for the Jesuit Rangers. Jesuit, of course, will start on defense as they'll be kicking the ball to start off. And we'll get a chance to meet that defensive starting lineup here in just a moment as these guys are just about to take the field. Here's the defensive front for the Rangers. Senior Tanner Krug, senior Parker Sherman, and junior Cole Johnson right up front.
Each of these guys starting to come into their own, I think, a little bit on that three-man front. Rangers haven't had a ton of sacks yet this season, Chris, but they're starting to put some pressure on the quarterback. Coach Hickman's challenged them to do that tonight. I think they'll do it.
As we continue through the defensive starting lineup for the Rangers, or rather we'll look at the offensive line here before they take the field. Gibson, Landis, Wagasback, Cox, and Hudson Krug, as the Krug family is well represented on both sides of the line. The O-line, a key part of the Jesuit offense. There are your receivers. We'll take a look at the offense a little bit more when the Ranger offense takes the field. But game action is just about to get started as we're going to get going here on Homecoming Night, Homecoming Thursday for Jesuit, as Cooper Magoo kicks it off, and we are underway here on Thursday Night Football into the end zone for a touchback.
A nice kick that time by Cooper Magoo. Not even really a chance to receive this one. You mentioned now we'll see what this Jesuit defense can do, Chris. Exciting time, I think, here for the Rangers. This is a big district matchup against Richardson. This will have a lot of implications, I think, for the playoffs here in a couple weeks as well. So important, I think, for this Ranger defense to get off the field early in this first drive.
The first quarter is brought to you by UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center, your home team for cancer care with locations all around Dallas, Fort Worth. UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center, your first quarter partner. The Richardson Eagles take the field as the first play is going to be a handoff. We talked about that running game. We talked about Jesuit stopping that running game, and Cole Wambacher does that after a gain of a yard or two. He shuts it down.
No surprise who's there for the tackle on the first play for the Ranger defense. That's Cole Wambacher leading this team in tackles with 48. That's 49 so far this season. He's been a stud there on the outside linebacker
Quarterback
position.
Lucas Sawyer leading the Eagle offense. We chatted about him in pregame. It's Zach Brazil standing just behind him. Brazil had that first carry, picking up 2 yards. Second down and 8. Faking the handoff this time and firing off to the left. It's off a helmet. It's in the air, and the Rangers pick it off. Interception for Jesuit. We're less than a minute into the game, and Simon McGoldrick brings down a pick for the Rangers.
Did one better, this Jesuit defense did, Chris. I said they got to get off the field early. Maybe I'm thinking a 3 and out. They said, how about on the second play, we'll get a turnover. I believe that's the 10th turnover so far this season for the Jesuit defense. McGoldrick comes up with a pick, and this Ranger sideline is pumped up.
Sawyer hasn't thrown an interception since August. Jesuit just did it on the first passing play of the night. We're 45 seconds into the game, and the Ranger offense is on the field. First and 10 at the 33-yard line. Barry with a man to his left and to his right. It's a handoff to Shane Parker. He'll pick up a yard or two, but boy, Jesuit's defense, a phenomenal start.
Wow, this is really exciting now, I think, Chris, for this Ranger offense to get started inside the opponent 40-yard line. A lot of opportunities now for Coach Radigan, for Coach Livingston to pull out a few different plays. Let's see how Beck Berry settles in. We hand the ball off there to Shane Parker first. It looks like Ty DeBow is now in the backfield, but 4 wide receivers. Let's see who Beck Berry decides to go to on the second play from scrimmage.
Berry's got 3 wide to his left, 1 wide to his right. He's going to drop back. He's going to throw his first pass of the night. It's going to fall incomplete. It was intended for Ty DeBow. But, boy, Jesuit's defense picks off the first pass attempt of the night for Lucas Sawyer. And after kicking the ball away to start the game, we're a minute in, and Jesuit's offense is on the field.
And you wonder, Chris, for Beck Berry and these guys, maybe you're not even really expecting to be on the field this quick, right? Is Beck Berry, is this offense a little bit rushed early on because they get on the field so quick?
Barry in the gun again with DeBow to his right. They'll pause and get the play in. He's got Parker off to the left. He's got Cade Kirby to his left. Harlan Buechler and Caden Profit are off to the right in the balance set. In the gun, Barry dropping back on 3rd and 9, throwing over the middle. It's complete to Parker. He's got the first down, and he's got a bit more. Shane Parker picks up 20 yards, and the Rangers are in the red zone.
Well, we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks, Chris. It's the 3rd down percentage stat that we needed to get on, and they did it that time.
Thibodeau on the tackle for the Eagles at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, Jesuit. Barry in the gun, handing the ball off. It's Ty DeBow up the middle. He picks up about 4 or 5. The Rangers are cooking. DeBow still not going down. He may have gotten 6 or 7.
Man, that's a great effort by DeBow that time. I think he got initially touched at about the 6 or the 5-yard line. They're going to spot this ball, Chris, down at the 3. That's a great extra effort by DeBow and a few linemen to push him a few extra yards.
Yeah, a lot of those are yak yards. It looked like if contact was first made after about a yard or 2, he picked up 7 on the play. 2nd down, 3 to go, goal to go, I should say, at the 3-yard line. Just as he did earlier, he's got Parker to his left, DeBow to his right. Barry in the gun, fakes the handoff, rolling right. Barry throwing into the traffic. It's knocked away. I believe it was Michael Allen on the coverage for the Eagles. 2nd down coming.
A little bit of an interesting set that time. You said we got DeBow, Parker back there. Lucas Meyer was back there just in front of Beck Berry on the right. So a lot of options in the backfield that time. They decide to roll Beck Berry out to his right where he's been comfortable all season long. Looking for Cade Kirby streaking across the field. That ball was batted away, I think. Good play by the Richardson Eagles. Now it's 3rd down. Let's see what the Rangers do in short yardage situation.
3rd down, goal to go. Kirby and Profit to the right. Off to the left, you got Parker looking. This one's going far left. It's going to be incomplete. It was in the air. It was intended for Cade Kirby. Hit somebody in the hands. Good coverage from Michael Allen again. It's 4th and goal from the 3.
No surprise, obviously, that you want to try to get Cade Kirby involved for this Ranger offense early. And it looks like, Chris, they're going to send the field goal unit on, try to get some points on the board and make some use out of that turnover. So unfortunate for the Rangers that we can't put this one into the end zone for a touchdown, but now Magoo will come out and try to get some points on the board early for the Rangers.
Yeah, it's a 20-yard attempt for Magoo coming from the right hash. You're right. After a turnover like that, you don't want to walk away with 0 points. Coach Hickman wants to put points on the board. On 4th down, the Rangers in field goal formation. Magoo's kick is up. It's good. We're 2.5 minutes into the game. Jesuit did not start with the ball, but the Rangers are on the board first. A Cooper Magoo 20-yard field goal. Jesuit 3, Richardson 0.
Look at that great kick there by Magoo. Obviously short distance. He had plenty of leg, but right through the uprights. And I think, we'll talk about this as we go out throughout the game, I'm sure, Chris, but wise decision by Coach Hickman there. Want to get some points on the board. We just got the turnover. In some ways, those are almost free points you think about, right, that we shouldn't have had on that first drive since we took the ball away from the Eagles. As we see the great Roger Staubach, Chris, just walked into the stands here and is a few rows up in front of us here in the booth. Great to have him in the building watching these Rangers play tonight.
Yeah, sitting great seats right at midfield for the great Roger Staubach. Let's talk about your Vanguard Auto Group scoring drive summary. The scoring summary sponsored by Vanguard Auto Group. Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex and all throughout North Texas. We're proud to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today. Kevin, I'll slide that over to you and have you read through that Vanguard Auto Group scoring drive summary.
7 plays, a quick 1 minute and 43 seconds for the Rangers. They gain 30 yards, and it's Magoo for a 20-yard field goal to cap it off for the Rangers, continuing the Rangers' strong red zone presence so far this season.
Yeah, you talked about playing a little bit with house money, making sure you score on it. The Rangers did, as Magoo's kick goes out the back of the end zone. So Richardson's offense will take the field again. Didn't go well for him last time. We'll see what the defense can do for the Rangers.
Well, and let's talk about a couple of those statistics, turning defense into offense. Jesuit had forced 10 turnovers. That was our 11th on the last drive. 9 of those coming in the last 4 games. And the Rangers had 5 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries. So we add one interception that time. And the offense has scored on 6 of those 10. So now we've scored on 7 of those 10. Good to see this offense capitalizing when the defense makes a play.
Coach Hickman also does a great job of capitalizing in the red zone. We'll talk about those stats the next time the Rangers have a chance. 1st down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Sawyer looking over to his left. He delivers complete. I believe that's Rogers. He'll pick up a few yards, so Sawyer with a complete pass there as Richardson's going to try starting over on offense.
It was nice coverage that time, I thought, by the Rangers in zone. Everybody just kind of held their position. As soon as Rogers caught the ball there, you thought he maybe was going to have a little bit more room to make a play, but all the Rangers were in the right spots. Didn't really have anywhere to go, and it's a short gain that time for the Eagle offense.
Sawyer now has trips right. He's got Watson over there. He's got Harder over there. And just behind him, he's got Zach Brazil, the impressive running back. Play action, throwing to his right. This ball's caught with room to run. Dameron Crow, and this guy's got wheels. He's going to take it. 71 yards for a Richardson touchdown. After the Rangers picked off the first pass, on the 3rd one, Richardson converts for a 71-yard strike, and the Eagles score the first touchdown of the night.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but I think there was just a little bit of a play action there that time that the safety bid on. It got number 4, as we just said, Damian Crow, wide open there for the Eagles across the middle of the field, and as soon as he caught it, he was just too fast for that Ranger defense. He takes it all the way to the house.
Yeah, Crow is not only is he a league leader, he's one of the district leaders as far as receiving yards. He's in the top 10 in the district, ranks number 8 in the district. That's his 4th touchdown of the season, as the Eagles will try to put up a PAT. Rangers almost got to it, but the PAT's good. Woo! We're 3 minutes and 16 seconds into this game. A lot has happened. Well, Richardson 7, Jesuit 3.
And maybe you see now, fortunate that time for the Rangers on that first drive to get that interception, because you can see what this passing offense of Richardson can do. Obviously, quarterback, Lucas Sawyer having lots of success so far this season. I don't think that's just going to change because he throws 1 pick. So he comes back. The Richardson offense responds well. Now it's time for this Jesuit offense to take the field on their first kind of full drive after a kickoff here and see what we can do. We'll talk quickly about that scoring drive. Chris, 2 plays, 75 yards. Took 48 seconds because the second play was a 71-yard Crow receiving touchdown. That is the 17th touchdown pass from Lucas Sawyer so far this season.
That scoring drive, like all scoring drives, brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group. Visit vanguardautogroup.com. Yeah, Sawyer's impressive. Crow is one of his go-to targets. In fact, Sawyer is number 2 in the district in overall passing leaders. His 17th touchdown of the season, as you mentioned. He threw 5 in a game just last week at J.J. Pierce. We're 4 minutes into this when he's thrown his first touchdown of the night. So Jesuits offense gets a chance at its first true drive tonight with the Rangers trailing 7-3, a little more than 2 minutes into this game.
It's Kirby, Corson Lindley, and Andres Van back deep for the Rangers to receive this kickoff.
3 wide back there as this is going to head over towards Corson Lindley, and it will be Lindley who picks it up at the 5-yard line. And he's going to try to create some room up the middle. He's got some room and brings it all the way out past the 30 to give Jesuit good field position.
Wasn't quite sure that time if he was going to be able to make something happen. He picked up the ball a little late, let it drop, thinking it might bounce into the end zone, but it kind of settled right there at the 5. Chris Lindley did well to pick that up. He made a man miss and then got all the way out past the Ranger 30. So it's still good starting field position for the Rangers this time.
Yeah, Michael Allen made a key tackle for the Eagles. Otherwise, that could have gotten really out of hand. Jesuits offense takes over at its own 31-yard line. 1st and 10 as Barry has Ty DeBow off to his right in a 4-wide receiver set. Barry in the gun. He'll instantly roll to his right. He's going to hit Harlan Buechler over on the sideline. Buechler will spin his way forward for a gain of about 5 or 6.
Not sure if we could see it on the screen that time, Chris, but that's a great block by Ty DeBow. He went out to the right. There was a linebacker coming in off of the side, and he did a great job just to put his body in front of Beck Berry so he could make that throw with plenty of time, plenty of comfortability over to Harlan Buechler on the right.
It was a pickup of 7. Velasquez on the tackle for the Eagles. 2nd down, 3 to go from the 38-yard line. Barry in a tight formation, tosses it. It's Buechler again. This time he's got ground to make up instantly. He'll fight for a few yards. He definitely got a yard or 2. We'll see if he got the first down. Velasquez brought him down near the sideline, and we got just enough for a Jesuit first down.
Boy, he ran a lot of yards to get those 2.5, 3 yards,
right, yeah.
Didn't he, Chris? Harlan Buechler's got a lot of speed. You heard Chris Martinez say tight formation that time for the Rangers, and then it was that quick little reverse. He definitely, I think, could have gotten tackled in the backfield there, but did well to escape it and got all the way just enough for that first down for the Rangers.
And ran completely sideline to sideline to get it done. First down and 10 for Jesuit. It's an empty backfield this time for Barry. He's back and looking over. It's Cade Kirby off to his left. Kirby, a spin move, trying to break free. He'll gain 3 or 4 more. I tell you, the Richardson defense is doing a good job of putting hands on bodies early, just as Ashton Savage did there. But the Jesuit offense fights for more yards after contact every time.
Yeah, impressed so far with this Ranger offense, I think, continuing to play after initial contact. We saw it from DeBow down in the red zone on the last drive. We've seen it from Buechler and Kirby now. Kudos to our guys for getting hit, taking the hit, and trying to get a few extra yards after the play.
2nd and 2. Just shy of midfield. An empty backfield again for Barry on 2nd down and 2. He'll fake a pass. It's a convincing pump fake, rolls to his left and fires out of bounds. Whatever he saw right off the top, he bailed at the last second. It might have saved himself an interception.
I think it was looking for Cade Kirby that time on the left-hand side. He got pushed out of bounds. Kirby did not have a chance to come back inbound, so as Barry's rolling to his left, he does the wise thing and just throws that one away. We've been talking about 3rd downs for the last few weeks, guys. Really wanted the Rangers to have short yardage opportunities on 3rd down, and that's exactly what you have here now. It's a 3rd and less than 3 maybe. This is a great opportunity now for the Rangers to run a variety of plays, get something going here, and continue this drive.
He's got DeBow and Parker back there with him. He's got Buechler and Kirby wide. He'll fire right off the bat to Cade Kirby. He's going to pick up the yardage he needs. A nice play, immediate hook from Kirby. Got the 4 yards, got the first down. Watson on the tackle.
Man, I love that call, Chris. That's just simple football. It looks maybe like it's going to be a run play because you got 4 guys there in the backfield, including including Beck Berry, Harlan Buechler, and Cade Kirby, the lone wideouts. All Cade Kirby did there is get to the first down line, turn around, catch it, and that's a great play by the Rangers.
Yeah, and you're talking about it being 3rd and short, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to run the ball here, and running that quick out was the way to go. This time, Barry's going to try to do it himself. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage and gain maybe a yard or 2 more on 1st down. But you're right. I mean, the play calling is such an essential part of that third down conversion rate. And the play calling opens up big time when you're just going for 3 to 5 yards.
Absolutely. It looked like, I think it was big number 1, Jamian Winfield, that time in on the tackle for the Eagles. You heard Chris Martinez talk about him ahead. The USC commit, 6'4", 295 senior. It's a big body.
3 wide receivers out to the right. Kirby alone out to the left. Berry will immediately turn to his left. It's going to be Buechler. Buechler's thinking about throwing a pass, but he's going to get brought down behind the line by Jason Catchings. It looked like it might have been a little bit of trickery, but Catchings caught it and got to it before the Rangers could execute.
Yeah, Catchings there did his part, but so did the Richardson Eagles secondary, Chris. Shane Parker was streaking down the field for that little wide receiver pass, as you talked about, but there was 2 men who'd covered Parker as he went down the field, so that play was going nowhere. The Eagles snuffed out the trickery that time, and it's 3rd and long for the Rangers.
Jesuit converted on 3rd and short a moment ago. It's 3rd and very long. 3rd down, 16 to go. Kirby and Parker are off to the right. He's got Ty DeBow, Caden Profit, and Harlan Buechler all off to the left. Nobody back there with him. He's going to try to do it himself. Here's Berry. He's got about 10 yards. He needed 16. He got about 12. 4th and 4 coming, but pretty impressive on the quarterback keeper before Jack Lee got to him.
Yeah, I mean, that's well designed by the Ranger offense that time, Chris. 3 wide receivers way out to the left in a bunch formation. Berry immediately pump fakes to his left and then goes straight up the middle for that little quarterback draw.
The ball at the 41. It's 4 down territory. Here are the Rangers. Berry's got DeBow with him. 4 wide receivers set. They'll stop and take a look at the play. It's Buechler and Profit to the right. It's Kirby and Parker to the left. DeBow is back there with Berry. 8 seconds on the play clock, waiting to get a play in. 5 seconds on the play clock, and we may have a timeout. Coach Hickman will call a timeout as Jesuit does not want to miss an opportunity here on 4th down and 4 at the 41-yard line. The first quarter each week is brought to you by UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center. Start cancer care with the highest level of expertise at UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center, with locations all around Dallas-Fort Worth. Right here, right now, for you and your family against cancer. UT Southwestern Simmons Cancer Center, our proud partner here in the first quarter.
Well, as we take a look here, Chris, with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the first quarter, 4th down and 4 for the Rangers. So a series of 4s here early on in the game. I like what I see so far, I think, from the Rangers. This is a methodical drive, a little bit of a slower start. We've had some really fast starts to games as the offense comes back out on the field now for this 4th down try.
4th down, 4 to go. Ball at the 41-yard line, 4:44 on the clock. Here in the first quarter, and the Rangers trailing by 4. It's that 4 wide receiver set for Berry as he's got DeVoe to his right. Back in the gun, looking, scrambling a bit, throwing over the middle. It's picked off right at the line to gain. Richardson picks it off. It's number 8, Jack Lee. He had a big tackle on 3rd down. He picks the ball off on 4th down. It looks bad in the stat sheet to throw a pick there, but the result isn't all that much different than an incompletion anyway.
No, the Eagles will take over in a decently similar field position. A great job by the Jesuit offense. That time, I believe it was Harlan Buechler out there who made the tackle after the interception. So you're right, Chris, kind of a negligible difference from a turnover on downs, but Berry just tried to force that one in. That time they had dropped 8, and he just couldn't find an open receiver.
Richardson takes over technically in Jesuit territory by a yard. They're at the Jesuit 49-yard line. 1st and 10 Eagles. Quarterback Lucas Sawyer, fresh off his touchdown pass, hands the ball to Zach Brazil. Brazil will pick up a few, but he is met quickly by Gabriel James after a yard or 2.
Gabriel James and a host of other blue jerseys that time. Great job just to clog up the middle by the Rangers. We've seen what this offense can do, I think. You know, we saw in the keys to the game, Coach Hickman said stop the run is one of those keys. Don't want to let this run game get going because that opens up the passing after that.
4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Richardson 7, Jesuit 3. 2nd down, 7 to go. Faking the handoff, play action. Sawyer's looking deep, throwing long for Crow. It's knocked away. Good defense. That was Jesuit's Jack Beret who got in the way of it.
Well, and just a little bit of a difference even from the last time that Richardson was out on the field where the touchdown is thrown and Jesuit's behind the ball. Beret did a great job to stay between his man and the end zone. As soon as the ball is thrown, he makes a break on it, gets a hand in there for the deflection. So nice job that time by the cornerback, Jack Beret, for the Rangers.
3rd down, a long 7 or a short 8 to go. Sawyer's got 2 men with him in the backfield. Going to fake the handoff, roll a little bit to his left, lob it over. That's a really well drawn up play. It's complete to Ben Phillips. He came out of the backfield, and he's going to pick up 20 or 30 yards.
Yeah, and that's a really difficult play to defend. I think if you're the Rangers, Phillips came out of the backfield. He's running upfield against a linebacker who's standing there with his back turned. He's got to turn his hips and get there. It's a tough play for a linebacker to make that cover on a back coming out of the backfield, and Richardson makes him pay that time on third down for the Eagles.
Yeah, really well designed. Ball's at the 24-yard line. It was about a 22-yard gain, 26-yard gain, something like that, if I can do quick math. Chris Martinez is a lot better at that than I am. 1st and 10, they're going to hand the ball off as Brazil will pick up a few more, just as he's done on the last few first downs. That seems to be the 1st and 10 play for Richardson, and it's working for him.
Both of these guys, at least from what I can see, Chris, not a ton to look at in terms of the size. When you look at Sawyer and you look at Brazil, you think about guys with their kind of statistics would be big, strong. You know, I don't see that we have Sawyer's height and weight in our roster here, but especially Brazil looks like he's kind of short, little shrimpy out there. So they're doing well to make some plays, I think, without the sort of physicality that you typically see from star offensive players. 2nd
down, 9 to go. Johnson had the tackle on 1st down for Jesuit, and now Richardson's going to call their first timeout of the first half with 3:05 to play. So Richardson's got a 7-3 lead. They're threatening to add to it as they've got the ball just on the edge of the red zone here in the first quarter. It's key for Jesuit's defense to try to keep the Eagles out of the end zone here.
Yeah, it is. This is a bend, don't break kind of situation. If you're able to give up a field goal, that's great. Obviously, if you're able to get a turnover in a situation like this, that's important. But let's see what this Eagles passing offense looks like, Chris, in shorter yardage situations. Obviously, we've seen the big play. But Rangers now have a shorter field, just outside the 20-yard line. A little bit easier to cover sometimes when you look at situations like this. Maybe they dial up some pressure. We saw that as one of the keys to the game from Coach Hickman as well. So hopefully an opportunity here for the Ranger defense to make another play, just like they did on the first drive of the game.
A great halftime coming up. The Right Legal Halftime Show will feature Chris Cook from the class of 1986, this year's Jesuits Distinguished Alumnus. Looking forward to that conversation at half. We hope you'll stay with us as we get there. Right now, 3:05 on the clock in the first half. 2nd down, 9 to go for the Richardson Eagles at the 23-yard line. Lucas Sawyer in the gun. He's got Brazil to his right. Play action, looking. He's got pressure, trying to get out of it. He does. Off to his right, creates room for himself, throws it to the corner of the end zone. It's incomplete, but an impressive scramble from Sawyer to keep the play alive.
Yeah, I thought number 94 for the Rangers that time, that's Parker Sherman. I thought he for sure had a sack in the backfield. As you mentioned, Chris, Sawyer does a nice job to step up in the pocket and then move out to his right, looking for a man deep in the end zone who was cutting back to his side of the field. So good job by the Rangers that time, getting some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, and good coverage from Beret staying back there. There is Jamie Winfield, the 6'4", 295. He's going to take a direct snap, and he's not going to get very far. The Jesuit defense swarms him right at the line of scrimmage. Richardson gets nothing on 3rd and 8.
That was Wambacher. That was McGoldrick. Look at those two guys on the left side that time. As you mentioned, Chris, he took a direct snap, the 6'4", 295 senior, and that's a great job by the Rangers to sniff that out and to make a big tackle, almost a no gain, I think, that time for the Eagles, Chris.
I think it was. 4th down, 8 to go, 22-yard line. Little over 2 minutes to play. Richardson's going to go for it here. A bit of a gutsy call. They're going to want to try to establish a 2-possession lead here early in this game. Sawyer has Brazil to his right. He's likely to go to the air. Fakes the handoff. Here comes the pressure. He's going to have to run for it, and the Rangers knock him away. Sawyer held on to it, but Jesuit, I believe it was Jesuit's number 14, Joe Norman, who stopped him short.
I mean, when we talk about the keys to the game, Chris, Coach Hickman mentioned, he said pressure the quarterback, stop the run, tackle, tackle, tackle. You see all three in one play right there from the Rangers. A great job to get pressure. You force Sawyer out of the pocket. Joe Norman is there. He makes the tackle. We stop the run on 4th down. A great stop for this Ranger defense to keep this game just to a 4-point lead for the Eagles.
The Norman tackle isn't possible without great coverage from cornerbacks and safeties on the play as well. It was clearly designed to be a pass play. Jesuits defense a lot to be proud of, keeping the Eagles off the board on that drive. Ranger offense back on the field at its own 18-yard line. Barry goes down. He got hit hard, and I believe it was from number 1, Jamie Winfield. So the Rangers have ground to make up. It's going to be second and very long.
Well, and we were talking about the great play that the Ranger defense made. That's a great play that time in the backfield for the Eagles defense. Winfield going to be hard to block all night, I think, for this Ranger offensive line. And now, Chris, important, I think, to get some yardage here on 2nd down as the Rangers are looking at 2nd and long. Want to make this a manageable 3rd here coming up.
2nd down, 18 to go from Jesuit's own 10-yard line. Barry back there by himself. He goes over to Parker immediately. Parker inside the 10. He gets to the 15 into the 20. He picked up 11 yards. It's pretty darn good on 2nd and 18. You wanted to pick up a few. He got 11 before Allen got to him.
Yeah, I like that play call. You just get Parker out in the flat right away. You saw Barry didn't even look around, just throws it right to Shane as soon as he caught it. And then it was good blocking by Buechler and Kirby that time for their fellow wide receiver, and exactly what we said we needed. Now it's a 3rd and manageable here for the Rangers. Want to try to get this, extend this drive a little bit, keep the Eagle defense on the field, let this Ranger offense work a little bit as we wind down here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, this is certainly not 4-down territory. So a big 3rd down play coming for the Rangers. It's 3rd and about 6. Here's Barry. He's going to have to scramble a little bit to try to get away. We'll see if he can. He's going to have to toss it out of bounds. As 4th down comes, the Rangers are going to have to punt. Good defense from the Eagles as Winfield caused the pressure.
Yeah, even if you couldn't see it on the screen that time, you know who's causing the pressure for the Eagle defense. I think we're going to call his name a lot tonight. It was Jamie Winfield. Barry does well to avoid the sack, tries to make as much of a play as he can. He's going way back and to his right, just kind of throws it out of bounds. Unfortunately, no receivers in the area. But the Rangers now have a chance to punt this away as opposed to turning the ball over on that play.
As Magoo comes out to punt, we're going to have a timeout called by Richardson. And Kevin, we want to say hello to the voice of the Rangers. Tom Walsh is in Mexico, and he is listening live. Chris Martinez, how many times has Tom Walsh gotten on your case for going to Mexico in the fall?
I think he's on an exotic cruise right now in Mexico. He must be in Cancun or Cozumel.
Great to hear from
you. You need to keep off those banana daiquiris.
That's right. Hello, Tom. Always great to chat with you. Glad you're enjoying getting away in the fall. He probably hasn't taken a fall vacation in 25 years. So,
and if he has, he hasn't really been on the vacation because he's clearly listening to the Rangers game still all the way from Mexico. So I'm sure his family's happy with that. Great to hear from Tom, and glad he's listening in for a little bit.
Yeah, I think I heard his wife Tara in the background saying, "Come on, Tom."
I thought we were done with this. 4th and long for Jesuit. Twitter may not be up and running tonight, but that's okay, as many of the students participating in homecoming festivities, which is great here on this Thursday night edition of homecoming football for Jesuit. Cooper Magoo's punt is going to go a long way and then go even longer. By taking a Jesuit roll, it goes all the way down to the 24-yard line. A 54-yard punt from Cooper Magoo.
And he did more than just kick that ball. That was a little bit of a high snap. Magoo does well to get that down and then punts it away calmly. It took a great Jesuit bounce at about the 40 or even the 45, Chris, and it rolled all the way down to the 25. So that's a huge difference maker on the special team side of the ball. You don't really see that all the time listed as a big play or a big stat, but that really reverses the field position now, and the Eagles are back like this was a kickoff or something like that.
Last week, Kevin, we were out in Irving, Rangers taking on MacArthur. It was 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. This has been a really eventful first quarter. We've seen a couple of interceptions, of course, a touchdown, a field goal. Both teams working hard here in the first quarter. Richardson's got a 7-3 lead in the final minute, as they often do on 1st and 10. They'll hand the ball off. That is Zach Brazil. As usual, he'll pick up about 6 or 7 before being brought down by Ben Phillips.
The Eagles are committed, I think, to trying to establish this ground game. That's probably the longest run, I think, so far for Brazil on 1st down there. And I think they want to continue to establish that. That opens up the pass game for them, Chris, and they want to continue to make this Ranger defense work on both sides of the ball, run and pass, not just be one-faceted.
Second down, 3 to go for Richardson as the final play of the first quarter, what is likely to be the final play of the first quarter coming up. It's a handoff to Brazil again. He'll pick up a few yards. He's going to get the Eagle first down. He's going to get a little bit more than that. A bunch of blue jerseys chase him down. Brazil picks up about 20 yards, gets across midfield as Weissmuller finally brings him down, a gain of 22 yards and an Eagle first down.
Well, and you can see why Brazil is one of the leaders in district in rushing. As soon as he got into open space there, it looked like it was dangerous. Great job by the Rangers to make a tackle there as we wrap up the first quarter. It's Jesuit 3, the Richardson Eagles 7.
Yeah, 7-3 Richardson. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to Jesuit Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network.
Every game is filled with moments that matter, ones you will never forget. At cliprip.com, we make it easy to relive those moments again and again. Browse and download your favorite plays from game broadcasts by Tradio instantly. Whether you are a player building a reel, a parent capturing memories, or a fan playing that perfect
Second
drive,
half is underway here at Ranger Stadium. Excuse me, the second quarter is underway here at Ranger Stadium as the Eagles pick up about 3 or 4 on first down.
Don't try to wish this game away from us, Chris. We've had the good first quarter. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A great first quarter. The second quarter now underway as you see. I believe it's a new running back in there now for the Eagles. That was number 28, Tydrick Hamilton, in at running back for the Eagles. And second down now. I think this Ranger defense has done a good job so far other than the one big play. So let's see what they can do on this drive.
That is Hamilton back there with Sawyer. Second down and 6 from the 43-yard line. Faking the handoff this time. He'll flip the football on his way into his hands. Throwing it over the middle. Late over the middle. It's knocked away. It was intended for Damian Crow, but Jack Beret's had a great night tonight. He knocked that one down.
Well, and we talked about it the last time Beret was in on the coverage. What he does well that time is he keeps his eye on the quarterback, and then as soon as the ball is thrown, he makes a break on the receiver, makes a play, gets some hands on the receiver, and that would have been a difficult ball to catch, a little up high. And the Rangers force another third down here, Chris. I'd love to see some pressure and see if we can get Sawyer out of the pocket.
You talked about how this game very well could have playoff implications here in District 7-6A. This is probably 4-down territory. Third down, 6 to go, 43-yard line. Sawyer in the gun. He's got time back there, firing off to his left. The ball is caught, but I'm not sure if he was in bounds. I think he got his foot in, and the referee agrees. He did get his foot in. It's a nice catch from number 3. Let's see who it is. There he is, Jacob Watson. Great catch.
Jacob Watson listed at 5'6", 135 pounds. I'm not even sure how Sawyer saw him over here on the Ranger sideline that time. Really a great catch to go up and get that one and keep his feet in bounds. The referee was right there, had a great view of it, and it's first down for the Eagles.
22-yard pickup for the Eagles there on 3rd and long. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. As Sawyer is in, it looks like he's got Zach Brazil back with him. Sawyer looking to his left again, firing front corner of the end zone. It's caught and pulled down. A phenomenal catch from Jaden Hernandez, and the Eagles strike again.
Wow, that was a great throw that time by Sawyer. I know we've talked about his qualities as a quarterback all night long, but that ball is thrown just out of reach from Andres Van, who I thought, Chris, was in good coverage. Not much you can do that time. Hernandez goes up and gets that one, makes a catch, and the Eagles are back on the board here with another passing touchdown.
Yeah, we talked about Sawyer being one of the premier passers in this district. He had a phenomenal week last week against Pierce, throwing 5 touchdowns. He's got 2 tonight. That's number 18 on the season as the PAT is good, and Richardson's lead is now 14-3. We're seeing it now. Why you look at these stats, you and I prepare for these games, we look at stats, and you see this Sawyer kid. You're seeing it now. This is a talented quarterback who's got an accurate arm. He can really zip it in, and really a great first quarter and change for Sawyer.
And clearly got a couple of good targets to throw it to as well, and a running back to boot. So this Eagles offense, we knew they were going to be tough coming in. They've scored 60 in the last 3 weeks. So Jesuit obviously wanting to keep it to quite a few less than that, but 14 points already on the board for this Eagle offense, and that includes Jesuit defense having a turnover on the first drive of the game. So this Eagles offense versus Ranger defense, I think, is going to be a matchup we're going to continue to watch all night.
Scoring drive summaries are always brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group. Visit vanguardautogroup.com and schedule your test drive today. It was a 6-play, 76-yard drive for the Eagles. It took a minute and 52 seconds, culminating on a 21-yard touchdown pass from Lucas Sawyer to Hernandez as the Eagles extend their lead to 14-3. The second quarter is brought to you by Veritex Bank, proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Rangers, sharing a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Learn about the shared values of Veritex Bank and Jesuit Dallas at veritexbank.com, member FDIC.
As the Eagles back to kick this one here, we see again that 3-man deep for the Rangers on the kick return. Offense wants to get into the red zone, Chris. We talked about that as you see Corson Lindley here now take this ball back. He's going to get it out just over the 20-yard line, almost to the 25. But that red zone stat that we talked about earlier, we've scored on 14 of our 16 trips, including the one tonight. It would be 15 of 17 with 11 touchdowns and 4 field goals. And that's including a misfire late in the game against Irving. So when the Ranger offense gets into the red zone, they can score points, whether by field goal, mostly by touchdown. This is going to be important for the Ranger offense to try and do here tonight. As I believe, is there a flag on the play there, Chris Martinez?
A 5-yard penalty. Bodazedu had a nice tackle on the play for the Eagles. There was a 5-yard penalty against Richardson, so we're going to have first down and 10 for Jesuit from the 29-yard line.
That was actually the first penalty on either team for this game when we're a minute into the second quarter.
It's been a cleanly played game and a well-executed game for the most part on both sides of the ball. 29-yard line as Jesuits offense takes over. Kevin talked about trying to get into the red zone. They've got a long way to go to get there. This ball's going to get tossed to Harlan Buechler. It's a forward toss, which will go statistically as a pass. Buechler picks up 2 or 3, and Michael Swanks forces him out of bounds.
Yeah, you can see this Ranger offense wants to get Harlan Buechler involved, even on the ground at the wide receiver position. That's the second time we've reversed the ball to him. Just a short pickup there. He was coming to the short side of the field, so a lot of white jerseys that time in front of him. But he does well to pick up a couple yards.
Second down and 7 for Jesuit at its own 32-yard line. Kirby and Parker to the left, Profit and Buechler to the right for Beck Berry. He's got Ty DeBow with him in the backfield, it looks like. Berry's going to have to scramble to his right. He tosses it out of bounds. He was under pressure really quickly from Jamion Winfield. Winfield, the USC commit, making his presence known tonight.
Well, and you could see there for Barry that time, he's got to worry about a lot of things when Winfield gets into the backfield. He's big, so it's hard to see over him. He's quick, and so it's hard to run away from him. I think Beck Berry does well there, Chris. That's a win for him just to not get sacked on that play. So if Winfield keeps getting back there, it's going to be tough for this Ranger offense.
Third down and 7. Barry's got Meyer back there with him. They'll fake a snap and put in another play. As Jesuits at its own 32-yard line, it's not 4-down territory. You got to convert here on 3rd down and 7. Barry looking to his left, throwing quickly. It got batted at the line of scrimmage. It falls incomplete. A frustrating set of downs there for Jesuits offense, who will probably have to concede to the punt team.
Yeah, unfortunate at that time. Barry's looking out at Cade Kirby on the left-hand side. I think he has a chance to get that first down if he makes the catch, probably just short of the sticks, but unfortunately for the Rangers, that ball's tipped. I couldn't tell if it was by Winfield or by another guy coming off the edge for the Eagle defense that time, but now the Rangers are in punt formation.
Cooper Magoo has been busier tonight than he wanted to be. Chris Martinez noted that we lost a yard
on an incomplete pass.
It took the referees an extra minute or so to figure that out, but they did. And so here we are now. It's 4th and 7, not 4th and 8. From Jesuit's 32-yard line, it won't matter much for Jesuit. They're hoping for a good, nice, long punt from Cooper Magoo again.
Magoo's got a little more space than he did the last time the Rangers were back to punt, but a similar 50-yard or so punt here would be great to continue to put this Eagle offense back and make them work hard to score points.
Richardson's quarterback, Lucas Sawyer, 5 for 9 tonight, 141 yards. This punt gets away from Magoo. It's going to go out of bounds inside the 40-yard line, it looks like. It's been an impressive night so far for Sawyer. Kevin, as I mentioned, 5 for 9, 141 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jesuit's going to have to figure out a way to stop it.
Looked like a 28-yard punt, said Chris Martinez that time from Magoo. You're exactly right, Chris Ackles. To have any sort of success here, this defense is going to have to slow down the gunslinger that is Sawyer on the Eagles side of the field. And I think that also means that we got to get into the backfield. You can see on your screen here that Richardson offensive line is quite big, especially on the left side. So for our Ranger defensive line to create some pressure and continue to put that on Sawyer, that's going to be a big key, I think, going forward here for the defense.
Sawyer hands the ball to Zach Brazil on first down. Brazil will pick up what looks like about 3 or 4 yards. Quite often that first down run up the middle. A big line there for Richardson's offense. We've done a lot of talking about their USC commit. On offense, Jasper Ngokwe, 6'6", 275 on the offensive line. So some big boys in an Eagles uniform tonight that Jesuits having to figure out how to deal with.
Several more. Obviously, you got Cash Moore on the right side, 6'2", 230, and Derek Takwe, who's next to Ngokwe on the left side, they're 5'11", 260. So clearly the line is doing some work as well for these Eagles.
2nd and 6, Sawyer throwing to the left. This ball was bobbled a bit, but it was caught. Another impressive catch from Jaden Hernandez. McGoldrick on the coverage for Jesuit. First down, Richardson at the Jesuit 45-yard line.
Yeah, and when Babe Laufenberg was here with us a couple weeks ago, Chris, we talked about those throws where you're going over a linebacker but still under the secondary. That's a really nice touch to put on it from Sawyer. Perfectly thrown over to Hernandez, who bobbles it but is able to come down with it. He makes that look easier than it really is.
Lucas Sawyer, senior quarterback for Richardson. He's had a great night so far. Jesuits defense still trying to figure him out. This time he's got 2 men behind him on first down and 10. But he'll still roll and look at throwing the ball off to the left. That is a throw and a catch. My gosh, it's going to be ruled incomplete. An impressive throw, but Andres Van was covering the receiver just enough to force him out of bounds.
Yeah, and here's how you know that Sawyer is a throw-first quarterback that time, Chris. He doesn't have his initial read. He looks to his left. He starts to run to his left like he's going to do a little bit of a quarterback escape that time. The linebacker comes at him. He has his eyes downfield the entire time looking to find his target. He does find his target. Unfortunately for the Rangers that time, Hernandez just was out of bounds when he caught it.
He probably could have gained a couple of yards on a run. He was going for a first down on the pass and wasn't able to complete it. 2nd down, 10 to go, fakes the handoff. Got a lot of time back there. Flag on the play, but the ball is way into the end zone. It's caught. It's a touchdown for Richardson. Only the flag can save Jesuit now. Nash Harder got in behind the secondary. It was perfectly thrown, but a holding penalty will bring it back.
Well, and I was wondering when we were going to see Nash Harder. We've talked about impressive, physical specimen on the Eagles side all night. He's 6'3", 180 pounds, looks very athletic out there at the top of your screen. That's a great throw and a great catch. The Rangers fortunate that time for the holding penalty that saves a touchdown, because that looked like that was, all over for the Ranger defense.
And I won't profess to have seen the hold, but he did have a lot of time back there. You could kind of tell he's got a whole lot of time back there. He took advantage of it and threw a beautiful 50-yard pass through the air, but it all happened because of a hold. So the Eagles will lose 10 yards thanks to the holding penalty. 2nd down, 20 to go. Richardson at its own 45-yard line. We're 3 minutes into the second quarter. The second quarter is brought to you by Veritex Bank. Richardson's got a 14-3 lead, and they're trying to add to it. Lucas Sawyer at quarterback. He's at over 150 yards through the air tonight. We have another flag thrown and another penalty. This one is also against Richardson for a delay of game. 2nd down and 25 is coming.
Well, if you're the Ranger defense, Chris, sometimes you need breaks like this to help you get a stop against an offense that's as powerful here as Richardson. So a couple of penalties in a row now. It's 2nd and 25 for the Eagles. You're thinking we got a lot of room here to make a couple of stops and make sure that we get our defense off the field here.
Sawyer's got Brazil back there with him. hands the ball off. Here's Brazil. He'll pick up about 6 or 7 on second down and 25. Third and very long coming after a nice tackle from Gabriel James.
Yeah, I think Richardson just trying to get a few yards back that time. They give it to Brazil up the left. Gets a few yards, and now it's third and long. You know, we've seen what Sawyer can do. So if you're the Rangers, there's no complacency here on third down. You want to continue to pressure. You want to continue to cover and make sure that we know we can get off the field here on third down as there's a late substitution here. The Rangers getting their personnel on the field.
Yeah, for the Ranger defense, Cabe Weismuller was late getting on, but the Rangers are able to bring Sawyer down behind the line of scrimmage. It was Cole Wambacher, a big play on third down. Cole Johnson in there to help him as well, and the Rangers force fourth and very long.
Great job that time by this Ranger coaching staff on the defensive end to dial up some defensive pressure. You mentioned it, Chris. It was Johnson. It was Wambacher. There was another blue jersey in on the pile by the end of it. That's exactly what this Ranger defense needed after the couple of penalties to really capitalize on this drive, get the defense off the field, and now Richardson's got to punt it away, and Corson Lindley's back deep for the Rangers.
You spoke earlier about Nash Harder at wide receiver, 6'3", 180 junior, athletic-looking player. He's also the punter for the Eagles, and if we'll ever have a play that gets in without a flag, he's going to punt the ball away. A delay of game penalty against Richardson, I believe their third penalty just on this series here, and that's what's created 4th and 26.
Well, I'd like to thank Chris Martinez for saying that it was just the first penalty of the game as soon as that first one came early in the second quarter, because since then Richardson has had several, and I think that's made the difference here on defense for the Rangers.
A left-footed punt from Harder. Kicked it what looked like about 35 yards or so. We'll get the exact yardage when it's spotted. It's a 41-yard punt, and the Ranger offense will take back onto the field. Jesuit has done a good job on defense, had an interception that led to 3 points, but the offense has not quite clicked yet. So we'll see if they can figure that out now.
Yeah, we had that short field on the first drive after the interception, couldn't capitalize and put the ball in the end zone, had to settle for the field goal, and then have had a couple of 3-and-outs, the turnover from Barry on 4th down in the first quarter. So it is time now for this Ranger offense to start clicking. Plenty of time left in this game. I think you still continue to see this as a one series at a time opportunity for the Ranger offense.
We're going to go 5 wide, empty backfield, 4 of them off to the left, and Barry's going to try to do it himself. He doesn't get much more than the line of scrimmage, as he will be met there by what looks like Yashua Alam. A 5 wide set. Barry would look like a designed QB run. We'll see what the Rangers do on second down.
Yeah, a little bit of trickery, I think, out wide that time. Parker faking like he wants the ball badly out there. It's a designed quarterback run, and the Eagles snuffed it out that time. And that brings up second and 9-ish, 10-ish for the Rangers.
Ty DeBow to Barry's left. He's going to immediately scramble off to the left. He's looking for Harlan Buechler. That ball's thrown. Caught by Buechler. He'll fall forward and pick up a Jesuit first down. Nice job by Buechler, gaining a couple of extra yards. Velasquez on the tackle.
And I think the thing that's really impressive about Buechler that time is that he not only catches it, he turns with the ball, he dives forward, gets it. It was that Kirby out there.
It was Kirby. That's my mistake. That's Cade Kirby.
Kirby out there on the wide out. He does a great job to get some extra yards because it creates a first down for the Rangers.
We've been joking for a few weeks that those of you watching on TV have a better view than we do. You all saw that was Kirby. Barry this time rolling to his right. This time it is Buechler. He's looking for way downfield. A lot of contact, but no flag. It's incomplete to Buechler. Coverage from Michael Allen got the job done.
Yeah, Allen had his hands on him all the way up the sideline. It didn't look like Harlan was ever really able to get out of his break. We've seen what he can do, obviously, with his great speed. So that was well covered, it looked like. The officials were all the way down the sideline with him, and now the Ranger offense looks at another 2nd and long.
2nd and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Jesuit chasing a 14-3 deficit. Barry will roll off to his right, delivers to Buechler. It was a little bit high. Buechler went up and got it, but he only gained about 3 or 4 yards on the play before Christian Velasquez brought him down.
We talked about it earlier in this game. Ty DeBow has done a great job blocking from the running back position. Number 11 for the Richardson Eagles that time. That's Antrell Smith-Bowen. Was going to, I think, have a shot at Beck Berry if DeBow doesn't get in the way. So even though it's just a couple-yard gain, it's more than what could have been for the Rangers that time.
3rd down, 7 to go. Kirby and Parker to the left. Profit and Buechler to the right. The Rangers will stop and get another play in from Coach Livingston and Coach Radican. Coach Gavin also down there signaling plays in. 3rd and 7, DeBow to Barry's right. Barry in the pocket, looking off to his right. He's going to try to do it himself. He'll pick up about 4 of the 7 he needed, but not quite enough for a first down. Michael Swanks forces him out of bounds.
Well, and if you're Beck Barry, it's just been a tough night to really get comfortable in the pocket because this Richardson Eagle defensive line has brought so much pressure. 4th down now, it looks like the offense is going to stay out on the field, huh, Chris?
Yeah, they look like they might try to go for it. Now we'll see the substitutions as Magoo and his punting team will get on quickly. Jesuit at its own 36-yard line doesn't want to take the risk of not picking up the 4 yards they need.
This could be the 3rd consecutive punt in the last 3 possessions for Jesuit.
Yeah, Magoo's been busy tonight. I mean, he obviously has the Rangers' only point. He's going to rugby punt this one, move a little bit to his right before kicking it away. It's a nice punt. It goes off the hands of Richardson's Chris Thibodeau and out of bounds. But a good job from Magoo on a 40 or 39-yard punt for Cooper. And that, Kevin, you talked about the field position game, and so far it's the only part of this game Jesuit's winning.
And that's because of Cooper Magoo, as you mentioned, who's done a great job on those 3 punts so far and obviously made the field goal early in the game as well, since he's both the punter and the place kicker. So, boy, tell you what, Thibodeau that time was fortunate, Chris, that he was near the sideline. He bobbled that ball after calling for a fair catch.
And there were blue jerseys
And there were blue jerseys nearby. That very easily could have been Jesuit recovery if he was not so close to the sideline and it bounced, fortunately, for the Eagles.
The Eagles take over at their own 25-yard line. 1st down and 10. They typically hand the ball off on 1st down. They do here. They'll get about 4 or 5. For 2nd down coming, it was Jackson Gare in on the tackle for the Rangers.
Well, and if you're the Rangers now, Chris, you start to look at the clock, 5:20 left here in the 2nd quarter. I think it's important for them to continue to keep this defense off the field as much as we can to make Richardson go for a 3-and-out or get some kind of turnover here so that the offense has another chance to score, because the Rangers do get the ball at the start of the 2nd half.
Sawyer with Brazil to his left. Sawyer's got a little bit of time in the pocket, delivers. That ball is caught. A nice catch from Jaden Hernandez. It's good for a 1st down, as it's going to, Rangers will force him out of bounds just shy of the 50-yard line. Mac Murphy on the tackle for Jesuit. The 2nd quarter is brought to you by Veritex Bank, proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Rangers, sharing a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. Visit veritexbank.com, member FDIC. Veritex Bank, our 2nd quarter partner.
That was a nice play that time by Sawyer to find Hernandez in the zone coverage, and then Hernandez does well to pick up a couple of extra yards. This clock is continuing to tick, and that's exactly what the Richardson Eagle offense wants.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Sawyer fakes the handoff this time, and on 1st and 10, he'll throw the ball. He'll throw it long over the middle. It's going to be caught. What a catch. This Richardson offense can play. Damian Crow just barely had 1 step on Jack Beret, but it was enough to complete a 40-yard pass and a 1st down for the Eagles.
You saw Crow on the big play in the 1st quarter, what he could do with his legs after he caught it. That time, that's his hands, Chris. That's a great catch under coverage from Beret. Nothing different I would do if I was Jack Beret on the coverage that time. Just a good throw and a good catch there by Richardson.
Yeah, really impressive athletic catch and a great throw from Sawyer. 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 13-yard line. This time they will hand the ball off. Ranger defense will make contact behind the line of scrimmage, and Zach Brazil's not going to get a whole lot more than just back to the line, but an impressive throw and catch. Gabriel James on the tackle there on 1st down for Jesuit.
Yeah, Chris Martinez will give us more stats at the end of the half here, but Brazil's had a number of rushing attempts, but not a ton of rushing yards. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, 9 carries for 53 yards so far. Is included a 22-yard scamper.
Yeah, and if you're the Rangers, I think you're happy with how that's going from the rushing side of the ball. So now it's time to get this pass defense working.
2nd and 9 from the 12-yard line. Flag on the play. We had a lot of these against Richardson in their last drive. We're going to have another one against the Eagles here. A false start will create 2nd and 14.
And that's an important penalty, I think, as we look towards the end of this 2nd quarter, end of the 1st half. 3:28 on the clock. Penalties hurt Richardson in their last drive, as you mentioned, Chris, and every little bit helps, I think, at this point for making sure that Richardson does not get into the end zone here.
2nd down, 14 to go from the 17-yard line, as I see the big, tall Nash Harder, wide receiver / punter, who's listed at 6'3", but looks a little taller than that. He'll enter the game off to the right side. It's a 4 wide receiver set for Sawyer. He's looking off to his left, firing into the end zone. It's incomplete. Rangers on the coverage. We get a flag down. It looks like we might have had a little tug of the jersey from Murphy.
Yeah, unfortunate that time for the Rangers. As Chris Martinez tells us, there's a penalty on the right side of the field as well. So there was one down here towards the end zone. I think you're right, Chris. That's going to be defensive holding or pass interference, but perhaps something on the other side of the field that'll offset this. Let's see what we hear from the officials.
Yeah, the officials discussing what the 2 flags are. Let's see what we got. 14 coming again.
That, you know, in some ways, the penalty there helps you if you're the Rangers. I believe it was 22 Mac Murphy in coverage, and now there's no penalty because of the offensive penalty from the Eagles as well. So I think we're fortunate there.
Sawyer immediately rolling to his right. Another flag is down on the field. This ball is thrown. It's going to be incomplete. It was intended for Harder. Good coverage from Jesuits, Cabe Weissmuller, and that's a holding penalty against Richardson. So, you know, Chris Martinez told us no flags in the entire first quarter of this game, but there have been 6 or 7 of them, 6 of them, seemingly all against Richardson in the last little bit.
6 accepted penalties.
Yeah, there you go.
7 and 1 against Jesuit on that decline or the offsetting.
Well, and now this really helps the Ranger defense, Chris, as they back him up the 10 yards for the holding penalty. The Eagles are outside the 25. You think about maybe even outside field goal range here. So this is important for this Ranger defense to keep them back here.
Yeah, perhaps a tough choice for Coach Hickman. You want 3rd and 14 or 2nd and 24. He chooses 2nd and 24. Sawyer's back, rolling to his right, dumping it over the middle, incomplete. That one was intended for Jacob Watson. Good coverage for the Rangers. 3rd and 24 coming. It was Wambacher on the coverage and on the hurry for Jesuit.
A little bit of delayed rush that time from Simon McGoldrick, who is coming from that outside linebacker position. He put pressure on Sawyer as he was rolling to his right. As you see some Jesuit subs come in here to get some new personnel on 3rd and long. But that was a great job, I think. We've talked about Coach Hickman's keys to the game over and over. Pressure the quarterback was number 1. And when we've done that, even though Sawyer's quite good, it's been much more to the favor of the Ranger defense.
Sports Information Director Brian Henry does an awesome job of preparing us for these games. That being said, I don't know Richardson's kicking scenario. It would be a 43-yard field goal if they have to attempt it from here. Sawyer coming in, delivering to his right. The pass is incomplete. It was intended for Zach Brazil. Unfortunately, Brazil may have been banged up on the play. He took an awkward attempt at the ball and fell face first, so they'll check on Brazil, but it's going to be 4th and very, very long. If Richardson attempts a field goal, it'll be 40-plus yards.
I mean, that might be the turf monster there because there wasn't a Jesuit player in there, so maybe just landed and twisted a knee or an ankle.
Yeah, I feel for the kid. He was moving backwards, kind of away from the ball, but then having to lunge for it. Just an awkward play. You hate to see a guy go down on. You hate to see a guy go down anytime, but especially on a play like that.
Well, and as we look at both of these teams going to the sideline, the Richardson Eagle offense looking like it's maybe going to stay on the field. We'll see what happens here. But if you're the Rangers, I think that play call of a pass, and especially then an incomplete pass, is fortunate because that stops the clock, right, Chris? So now 2:41 on the clock. If they do decide to kick it or go for it, this could have been time if they had run the ball. That would have been an important time, for the clock to continue to wind down. So with the incomplete pass, the Rangers a little bit fortunate here to get some time back.
It's homecoming night here at Jesuit. This game was scheduled for tomorrow night. It was moved up to Thursday, like many games across North Texas. Let's take a look at the scoreboard here in District 7 6A. No surprise here, Lake Highlands with a 49-7 lead over Irving Nimitz. Lake Highlands, of course, the class of the district. Berkner has a 14-0 lead over Irving at the moment out at Ellis Stadium. And in this one tonight, Richardson's got a 14-3 lead with 2:41 to play. 4th down and long. The Eagles are going to go for it on 4th and 24. Sawyer looking to his left, firing over to the end zone. It's incomplete. There's no flag on the play, it looks like, and the Ranger offense is going to take the ball back.
Well, and the referee is right there down the sideline. It looked like Hernandez and Van, who've been going back and forth all night, were kind of in gridlock with one another. So it's a no call that time for the Ranger defense. Hernandez pleading his case with the official, who is not going to change his mind. So with 2:36 now on the clock, Chris, this Ranger offense takes over, an important opportunity to cut this lead, maybe down to single digits before the end of the half here.
Richardson comes into this game averaging better than 420 yards, averaging better than 40 points a game. The defense has done its job in the first half, keeping them to 14 points.
263 yards of offense so far for Richardson.
Man, and only 14 points to show for it. Nice job by the Jesuit defense. Let's see if the Ranger offense can get something going here. That's on first down. They're going to dump it over. That's going to be Lucas Meyer, and Meyer's going to pick up about 12 or 15 yards. A good start for this Ranger offense. Lee forced him out.
He looks great there on the little sweep out to the left, makes a man miss, and then is up into the second level of that Richardson defense. He runs, hands the ball to the referee quickly, and let's see if this Ranger offense will get to the ball quickly as the chains move and the clock restarts here with 2:29 left to go.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line for Jesuit. Looks like they'll do a dump over to the right. This time it's Ty DeBow. DeBow gets a block. He picks up 5 to 10. He'll gain a few more. Boy, he took a beating, gaining 12 yards there, Kevin.
Yeah, that was a big shot that time, as we see maybe DeBow will stay on the field and get some attention here. But he did well to stay on his feet that time after he caught it. I think something maybe got up towards the head or neck region. So as the Rangers take a little bit of time with the injury here, Chris, we're thinking we got 2 minutes and 21 seconds left. This offense has not been able to get into the end zone yet. What are the kind of things that that you'd like to see out of the Ranger offense in the next couple of plays, in the next couple of minutes, to really force the issue and make this game closer here to make sure we get some points on the board?
It's funny you asked that, because I never see myself answering it this way, but we've just seen 2 screen passes turn into 25, 26 yards for Jesuit. So, and that only happens when your skilled players, your wide receivers, your running backs are willing to block, and Jesuits are. And so you see a couple of really successful plays there. I'm sure they won't go back to those same plays over and over, but I think the passing game has got to come alive for Jesuit to get on the board here.
No shortage of heart, obviously, for this Ranger offense, as you talked about. And as we saw Ty DeBow walk off the field under his own power, I want to say that's a good sign, and hopefully we get to see him back in the game soon.
Yeah, you need the passing game to help you, but the rushing game, we've only got 12 yards on the ground, so you got to look for the pass.
First down, 10 to go. The Rangers are in Eagle territory at the 48-yard line. He's going to send Meyer into motion, but looks like Beckberry's going to do it himself. And there's some more blocking from the skilled positions of the Rangers. It's a third consecutive first down Jesuit.
It was Buechler that time on the block, Chris. As you mentioned, our blocking downfield has been excellent. Michael Allen out there, the cornerback, has been strong all night. That's a great block, and Barry gets a first down out of it.
2 minutes on the clock, plenty of time. 35-yard line, first and 10. It's going to be a handoff. That, I believe, is going to be Shane Parker. It's Parker with room to run, and Parker picks up 20-plus. Another Jesuit first down. Watson brings him down inside the 10. 4 plays, 4 first downs for the Rangers. A 29-yard gain for Shane Parker.
I'm thinking here that the Ranger offense is going to hurry up to the line, Chris. 1:58 on the clock. We'll go to the new 2-minute timeout here in high school football. That's a great pickup that time by Parker. Chris Martinez.
Yeah, we only had 4 plays so far on the drive, but you got a first down on every single play. That's efficient.
And this drive, Chris, started at what's it,
the 26-yard line.
So it's already been a 60-yard drive for Jesuit. Something along that. You're better at math than I am, but I
think the ball's down to the 6-yard line, so 80 yards.
An 80-yard drive so far for Jesuit, but a big first and goal coming from the 6-yard line. Kevin, what an opportunity here for Jesuit to put the ball in the end zone just before the half.
Well, and we talked about it already so far in the contest, right, Chris? Red zone is where we've done well so far as the offense trots back out onto the field with first and goal. Now you have an opportunity to put in a variety of different plays, to run the ball, to throw the ball to these wideouts. This is where the Rangers have wanted to be so far tonight. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
You kind of wanted to run the clock here, burn another minute or so. Maybe you could double dip them, score here and score coming out of the third quarter.
First and goal, the ball is right. It looks like it's right at the 7-yard line. Beckberry has Shane Parker to his left, and he's got Ty DeBow to his right. The Rangers will pause to get a play in. In fact, Coach Hickman's going to call the Rangers second timeout of the half to make sure the right play is in here on 1st and goal.
I think if you're Coach Hickman, Coach Radican, Coach Livingston, these guys wanted to see what the Eagles' defensive front was going to look like. So you take a look and you call timeout, and then we'll see what we want to dial up here with a minute 58. I think it's a good point by Chris Martinez. At some point, you don't want to give Richardson too much time now left in this half to put points on the board. So do you run the ball here, keep the ball on the ground, keep the clock running, maybe force Richardson to call timeouts?
Be sure to stay with us for the Right Legal Halftime Show. Chris Cook from the Jesuit class of 1986 and this year's distinguished alum will be with us at halftime. Looking forward to that conversation on the Right Legal Halftime Show as Chris Cook will join us. Here we go. 1st and goal. Ball at the 7-yard line. Beck Berry has Shane Parker to his left and Ty DeBow to his right, and a few wide receivers out there as Kirby and Buechler are also ready. The Rangers will turn and put a play in. They wanted to see what the Eagle defense would do. Kirby, wide receiver on the right. Buechler off to the left. Berry now puts Meyer in motion. He'll do it himself off to the left. He'll be met at the line of scrimmage. Might have even lost a yard. It was Michael Swanks that got to him.
Well, and with not enough wide receivers out there on the left, it was Lucas Meyer in on the backfield for the Rangers. Beck Berry, just didn't have enough blockers that time, Chris. Everybody was matched up except for Swanks, who comes in untouched, and that's a loss of maybe 3 yards for the Rangers.
A minute and a half on the clock in the first half of this game. Richardson's got a 14-3 lead. Rangers have the ball 2nd and goal at the 9-yard line. Berry looking to his right, throwing, looking for Kirby. It was thrown a little bit short, and good coverage there from Richardson. It was Michael Allen on the coverage. A big 3rd and goal coming.
Yeah, that time just not quite enough on that one from Beck Berry. Unfortunately, that doesn't get to Cade Kirby, who's out there, but the Rangers trying to get some points on the board here, Chris. It's 3rd down and 10, maybe looking at even 4-down territory if you're the Rangers with a minute 19 left to go in the quarter.
It would be hard not to. We mentioned Jesuit's defense doing its job, holding the Eagles to 14 points despite 250-plus yards. The offense trying to put the ball in the end zone. 3rd down, goal to go. Ball at the 9-yard line. Berry is going to send him into motion. It's over to Ty DeBow. DeBow at the 5, looking for pay dirt, and Ty DeBow is in the end zone. The Rangers strike, and they're back in it. It's 14-9.
I love when we mention things, Chris, and then it happens again. That time, the blocking by the receivers for the Rangers, really exceptional. There's no way that DeBow gets into the end zone if Parker, if Buechler, those guys are not out there blocking on the goal line. That was exceptional from the Ranger receiving corps. DeBow does well to get into the end zone. A big pickup now with 1:13 left to go here in the second quarter.
The whole drive, Kevin, the entire 74-yard drive, you had skill position blocking from Jesuit. Cooper Magoo's been busy tonight. He puts the PAT through the uprights. It's 14-10, a huge touchdown. Chris Martinez told us earlier, the first 4 plays of that drive all created first downs. A lot of them came from screen passes. A ton of it came from great blocking from all 11 on the field for Jesuit.
Well, Chris, we both know we're fans of Notre Dame football. You get to see them most weeks. I love watching them on TV. Coach Marcus Freeman talks about this middle 8. The last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, an extremely important time in football games. The Rangers, as Chris Martinez said, have an opportunity here to double dip, to score here at the end of the second quarter and to maybe get the ball and score at the beginning of the third. So a really important drive that time, and the Ranger offense finally reaches the end zone here late in the first half.
Scoring drive summaries are always brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group. Chris, this is a fun one.
7 plays, 74 yards, a minute 23 came off the clock. Ty DeBow with the 9-yard reception. It was his first receiving touchdown of the year.
Schedule your test drive at VanguardAutoGroup.com. A great time for the first touchdown of the year for Ty DeBow.
Receiving touchdown.
First receiving touchdown, you're
right.
Right.
Two overall.
He's run the ball in, but good time for the first receiving touchdown. Stay with us for the Right Legal Halftime Show. Chris Cook from the Jesuit class of 1986, the Jesuit Distinguished Alumnus of the Year, will be joining us at halftime as Cooper Magoo sends a little chip shot into the Eagles, trying to prevent a long return, and it'll accomplish its job as he won't get much more than a yard or two as the Richardson offense will take the field. Here's the thing, Kevin. This offense, led by Lucas Sawyer, has quick strike capability.
Absolutely, Chris. It's a great tackle that time by Cole Wambacher on the kickoff. And you're right. We've seen how quickly they can score. I believe on the first drive, the second drive after the initial turnover, it was a 23-second drive to score in over 70 yards. So if you're the Rangers here, you do not want to give up the big play, and you want to make sure we can contain with 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go.
The Eagles on their own 29-yard line, first down, 10 to go. Back, they'll likely be passing this drive, thrown to the right. It's caught, but it's caught behind the line of scrimmage, and an instant tackle. Great defense from the Jesuit Rangers. I believe that was, we'll have to see who it was.
You already know who it was. If it's a Ranger tackle, it's from Cole Wambacher, number 18, out there with the black sleeve on his right arm. You could see in that left outside linebacker position. Great coverage, great tackle.
The Eagles lost a yard on the play. 40 seconds on the clock here in the first half. It's going to force Sawyer to try to go long, and it's picked off. Sawyer threw it late over the middle, and Cabe Weismuller grabbed it out of the air.
What a great play by Weismuller, Chris. As you see, it was number 3 there for the Eagles. That's Jacob Watson going over the middle. There were several Rangers in coverage. Weismuller kept his eyes on the quarterback the entire time, tracking. As soon as that ball was thrown, he made a break on it, a two-hand catch, a good catch to come down with that one. And then, immediately fell to the ground. So now all of a sudden this Ranger offense has a chance here just outside the 50-yard line with 35.6 to go.
Really athletic play from Cabe right around midfield. Ranger offense with the ball at its own 46-yard line, 35 seconds on the clock. Barry throwing to his right. It's caught, and Profit stayed in bounds. Nice play there by Caden Profit, making the catch, staying in bounds. Unfortunately, only got a yard or two on the play.
Yeah, not a lot of yards out of that play, but I like that Barry keeps the ball trying to move forward there. As you mentioned, Profit did a great job to come down with that in bounds, but just 5 seconds off the clock for the Rangers. You saw Buechler going deep. We've seen his speed. You've seen Kirby have long touchdowns. This Ranger offense can score quick too, Chris.
31 seconds on the clock. Jesuits got the ball 2nd and 9 at its own 47-yard line. The Right Legal halftime show is coming up next with Chris Cook from the class of 1986. We're excited to hear from him. 2nd down, 9 to go. The Ranger offense trying another screen play. It's Harlan Buechler. He's got the block he needs. He picks up the first down, and importantly, he gets out of bounds. The clock will stop at 24 seconds. Hernandez forced him out. First down, Jesuit.
I didn't pay attention to this if he has been so far tonight, but that's number 6, Hernandez, who caught a touchdown earlier for the Eagles, Chris. So he's playing both ways at the wide receiver and defensive back position. I'm not sure that Harlan Buechler doesn't go to the house if he doesn't make that tackle.
Yeah, Henry, our spotter, tells us he does play both ways. A lot of the star athletes for Richardson do. 24 seconds on the clock in the first half of this game. Barry, back, look to his left. He's going to have to scramble himself. He picks up a few yards, is met in the middle. Jesuit's going to have to use its final timeout, 40 yards from pay dirt. Jack Lee with an aggressive tackle on Barry there.
Yeah, we've seen that misdirection a couple times already from the Rangers, Chris, trying to get some wide receivers or running backs out in motion to think that it's a pass play. Beck Barry on a little bit of a quarterback draw there, well defended by the Eagles and just a pickup of a few. So now you're the Rangers, 15.6 to go. You're at the 40. Would love to get some yards here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe there's no timeouts left for the Rangers. Is that right, Chris Martinez? So if you do get the ball and stay in bounds, that's got to be a spike situation. Hurry up to the line. On first downs, the clock does stop until the chains get reset. So this is kind of a hurry-up offense situation for the Rangers now in the last few seconds.
I would think with the great leg that Magoo has, you got to get down to probably the 30 or so for a 48-yard field goal. I think he's got it in his leg.
The Rangers have it at the 40-yard line, 2nd down and 7 with 15 seconds on the clock. Barry sends DeBow into motion, throws to his right. It's complete to Buechler, but he's in bounds, and we're going to have a whistle. Buechler's only going to may not pick up a yard. He might have lost some yardage. And with where the ball is, Coach Hickman's going to let the clock tick away. Kevin, what an impressive final 3 or 4 minutes for Jesuit. This thing felt a little bit out of hand with the Rangers down 14-3. But in the last 3 minutes, Jesuit brought it back to 14-10, had a chance even to take the lead there at the end. The Rangers are cooking here at the end of the first half.
Well, and you mentioned it, Chris. This Richardson Eagles offense has put up 60 points in the last 3 weeks. for, against district opponents. So it's really impressive for this Ranger defensive front to only give up 14 in the first half, 1 on a big play. And so, we really got to take a lot of solace, I think, if you're the Rangers. Really, that last drive was gravy off of the interception, right? We talked about the middle 8. We did what we needed to do on the offensive side of the ball, got our touchdown, and now the Rangers will get the ball to start the third quarter.
Stay with us for the Right Legal Halftime Show. Life situation sometimes seems daunting and you don't know where to start. Our trusted group of professionals at Right Legal specialize in helping with all those matters. We're coming up in just a moment. Chris Martinez will give us first half stats, and we will visit with the distinguished alumnus of the year, Chris Cook, from the class of 1986. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Jesuit Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network.
Every game is filled with moments that matter, ones you will never forget. At cliprip.com, we make it easy to relive those moments again and again. Browse and download your favorite plays from game broadcast by Radio instantly. Whether you are a player building a reel, a parent capturing memories, or a fan playing that perfect drive, your moment is ready to clip and rip. Clip the moment, rip the highlight. Visit cliprip.com.
Hey Mom and Dad, I'm calling because I want to tell you this all boys Catholic school games. They have so many different classes, even 18 dual credit, and over 100 clubs and sports participants. There's also a huge focus on making service and community. Gosh, there's so much more. We have an open house on the Monday, 16th of July. Go check it out early. Oh yeah, I'm so excited about this. The school's name is Jesuit. Love you. Bye.
And the Rangers win the game!
An outstanding girl of the week, Jesuit you, Eaglettes. And now, to continue tonight's halftime entertainment, brought to you by Golden Eagle.
Welcome back to the Right Legal PLLC halftime show. Life situations sometimes seem daunting and you don't know where to start. Our trusted group of professionals at Right Legal specialize in helping with all matters relating to estate, probate, business, and tax issues. Well, we want to welcome to the booth, friends. I'm Kevin Fitzsimmons, class of 2011. Chris Cook, class of 1986, in the booth with us for the halftime guest tonight. Thanks, Chris, for being here with us.
Thank you, Kevin, for having me. Appreciate it.
Chris, it's great to meet you. I know we bumped into each other a couple of weeks. We'll tell that story in just a minute. But to start here, why don't you just introduce yourselves to the folks that are listening on our broadcast? You know, where'd you grow up, Jesuit class? What are you doing now? Your family, all those sorts of things.
Well, I moved to Dallas when I was 9 and was in public school, Richardson High School, Richardson School District. But in my middle school years, overheard some guys talking about Jesuit, and private school had never been a thought for my family, and I was excited to hear that there's an all-guys private school. And so I ended up applying to Jesuit. By the grace of God, I got in, and it was changed my life.
Absolutely. It's for so many folks, changes the trajectory of one's life. So you're the first person in your family to go to Jesuit. Is that what I hear,
Yes,
Chris?
sir.
That's great. That's great. And obviously a lineage since then. I know I met your son, Christopher, a few weeks ago, who's Jesuit class of 2021. Is
21,
that right?
that's right. Just
Okay.
graduated from TCU.
That's
so
great. That's great. And you have a daughter as well. Did she go to Ursuline?
I have a daughter that graduated from Ursuline in 19 and is now living in New York.
There you go. Now you're all over the Catholic private school scene here in,
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Dallas after your
Exactly.
upbringing. So, well, Chris, class of 1986, wanted to start tonight by talking about your own Jesuit experience and what that meant to you. Obviously, you mentioned growing up in Richardson, not as familiar with private schools. So what was Jesuit like in the mid-'80s when you were there? What was your experience like? And you know, then we'll kind of talk about what stuck with you since then after that.
Well, I remember right out of the gate being amazed and surprised about the discipline. And I remember there was teachers who would come around and at the time whack you on the knees if you had your legs crossed.
Wow.
So you had to, there was a structure and a discipline. It's obviously a lot more laid back today. But the biggest takeaway or the biggest realization when I got there was just how tight the community was. And, you know, Jesuit teaches that the artist is just as cool as the athlete, but the real cool is kindness. And everybody treated everybody with such great kindness, and that has created this bond that you see in the community today. So I was grateful to have a chance to come here, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Well, we've talked about it. It's a special place, and we talk about it every week with our halftime guests here, Chris, as you might expect, that there's something special, something magical about that Jesuit community, and each person has that unique experience that helps it for them. And you see, as we look at a full stands in front of us here for homecoming weekend here for the Rangers, it's something that everybody feels connected to, everybody can participate in. So talk to us, Chris, about what you did after Jesuit. What did the trajectory of your life kind of look like? Where did it bring you to now? And what maybe has kind of stuck with you in all the different phases of your life from your time at Jesuit? What has been something that you've really brought with you since your high school days?
Sure. Well, I grew up in my family's furniture business, and sadly in the late 80s, that business went bankrupt. And so I did everything but go into retail and furniture. So I graduated with a degree in finance from SMU and went to work in finance and then technology. And after about 12 years, we had gotten married, and we were looking for a mattress for our first guest room, and had a horrible shopping experience. And that's when we started looking around at the market and figure out there was an opportunity to serve the market in the right way. And that's when we came up with the idea to start Sleep Experts, a mattress retailer here in Dallas. And we were living in Austin at the time, moved back to Dallas to start Sleep Experts, and built that up to 55 stores. And, you know, when we started it, we really tapped into, you know, Jesuit's mission, the Men for Others, and we created our own mission to have a great purpose that was greater than ourselves, to give back to the community that we served, and to create a better life for the employees that worked with us. And we felt like that mission alone really made that company successful.
And I love that story because like you said, just like the Jesuit mission, Men for Others, the Jesuits really are so great and have been great throughout their entire history at seeing a problem in the world, attacking it with creative solutions, bringing something that people need to those people in an inventive way. And you did that obviously in your own way with your business and with Sleep Experts. That's the kind of mentality I think that it takes. You're trying to serve people that you encounter to provide an experience for them that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise.
Well, Jesuits, Men for Others is, people walk the walk. And, I certainly drank the Kool-Aid and felt like business was a great platform for us to give back, both to our employees and the communities which we serve.
Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing here tonight and this weekend, Chris. You've obviously been named recently. We had a great conversation last week with alumni director Sean McMullen about the Distinguished Alumnus Award. So I have a little bit of history with that myself. My dad won the Distinguished Alum Award in 2001, I believe now, so 25 years ago almost, and it's a really special honor for folks that don't know, that are listening. The Distinguished Alumnus Award is probably the highest honor that we could bestow on a graduate of Jesuit, so congratulations on that. Tell us a little bit about the award, what you know of it, and then what it's meant to you, obviously, to receive it here, as you found out in the last couple of months.
Well, let me say first, Coach Fitzsimmons was a teacher of mine and one of the greatest teachers here at Jesuit, and really influenced this community, and we all miss him every day.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so he was a wonderful man. But, I didn't know much about the Distinguished Alumni. When they called, I literally told him, I said, hey, I think you might have the wrong Chris Cook. There's a Chris Cook from '85. Do you want his number? Because I'm sure he's done a lot more. But I am humbled and honored that I was ever even in the consideration, and it's been a great honor, and it's been fun for me to come back to school, and even a bigger honor to have my son with me, and to see him now after he's graduated from TCU come back to Jesuit, and for the family to be on campus here has just been wonderful.
Yeah, it's a special way to reconnect with the community after a while. I know you and your wife, Christine, loved being here while Christopher was here as a student, and fun then to be honored in this way and to be able to reconnect with this community. Let's talk about how different Jesuit is since you were here in the mid-'80s. We've laughed with Chris Martinez and others. I mean, the campus just looks like a brand new place since you were a student here, even since I was a student here in the mid-2000s.
It's like a college campus, and it's obviously much bigger than it was when we were here. But I tell you, the core community remains the same. And my son's experience was very similar to mine. He had friends across all categories and interests in the school, and they all had such a tight community. And so even though there's more people here, Jesuit has done such a great job of teaching the Jesuit values, the Catholic values, the community values to each of the students, and it's reflected here.
It's really beautiful to see how those traditions can carry on, decades and decades later, right? And it's a testament to the faculty, it's a testament to the administration, to the folks here who are serving these young men every day, showing them how to be men for others, as we mentioned. Well, want to take a quick sidestep from Jesuit for a second, Chris, to talk about a fun connection that we have. Just a couple of weeks ago, we bumped into each other at an event for my day job, which is with the Loop Dallas, an organization that is building a 50-mile circuit of trails around the city of Dallas, something I just started as I moved back to Dallas this summer. So I moved back in July and started my job with Philip Hyatt Haig in the Loop Dallas in mid-August. And you generously donated, you and your family generously gave a gift to the Loop recently, and I saw the name Chris Cook come across my email inbox, and I'm thinking, where did I see the name Chris Cook recently? I look back into my personal email, and James Kramer, Director of Communications here at Jesuit Dallas, had sent Chris Ackles and I the halftime guest list for the rest of the Jesuit broadcast. And I said, Chris Cook, class of '86. I wonder if that is the same guy. And sure enough, it was. So first of all, I want to say thank you on behalf of the Loop for your generous gift and for your support. What an incredible opportunity for us to be able to connect with your family. We're so grateful for your support. And let's talk a little bit about the Loop. I'm happy to share a little bit more too, but what does this organization mean to you, and why is it something that you wanted to support in this way?
Well, I'm a cyclist, and so I spend a lot of time riding bikes. And Dallas is a terrible cycling city. And when you get on the roads, your life is at danger. And so I try to spend as much time off of the roads as I can And, Jeff Ellerman, who's the chairman of the Loop, is a good friend. And what he and Philip have pulled off, Philip is the director.
Executive director, yep.
Executive director, has pulled off is amazing. To be able to get all these, the private monies and the public institutions to work together to create this trail has been amazing. And they've got a great plan. And it really will be, just like the Katy Trail has created so much development along that small section of the Katy Trail. I believe there's going to be, that times 10 on all these little sections around town. And people will love to come here and bike to the coffee shop or whatever it is. I think if you look at Bentonville, Arkansas, they have changed that town by investing in trails and a trail system, and that town is become a vacation spot today.
Absolutely.
And big businesses are moving there. And so I think the Loop is a great civic project, and I think it's going to have a great impact on Dallas.
Yeah, and we hope so, and grateful, as you mentioned, to the foresight of folks like Jeff Ellerman, Larry Dale, Mike Terry, who's a Jesuit community member, the Terry Center building just across the way from us here. His family, obviously longtime Jesuit family, had a couple of sons play basketball for my dad back in the late 90s, and Rick Perdue as well on the board for the Loop Dallas, who had a son that graduated from Jesuit about 5 years ago, maybe around the same time as Christopher. So it's great to see some Jesuit involvement and to have bumped into the Jesuit community in a new way in my professional world. So again, we thank you and your family for that generous gift, and what an opportunity here to be around something like the Loop that I think is really trying to connect the different parts of Dallas in a way that hasn't been in a long time. And as you mentioned, for folks that are listening here in kind of this North Dallas area, you may be familiar with the Katy Trail or with the North Haven Trail. We're trying to bring trails just like that all across the city and bring those to all kinds of communities, not just here. So, well, Chris, want to ask you a couple more questions before we let you go. We're going to bring back Chris Ackles to the interview as well. But as you think about, what the distinguished alumnus means, one of my favorite things I think about the way that Jesuit operates is that the distinguished alumnus isn't given to perhaps maybe the most successful person or the person who makes the most money, but it's the person who really has lived their life with Jesuit values at the center. And so even though you have been quite successful in business and in many other ways, what is it that kind of you've tried to keep as the mission for your life, that you bring that Jesuit values into it as you live a well-rounded Jesuit sort of a life after you've graduated from here?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the mission at Jesuit for all the young men who go here is to be men for others. They've been given the great gift of the ability to go to Jesuit, whether the parents pay for it or they're on scholarship. And in return, the Jesuit asked them to go out and serve and be men for others. And that resonated with me, and I've kept that with me my whole life. And as my life has evolved, there's been different opportunities to give back in different ways. And whether it was in the business with our employees and using that platform to donate mattresses to domestic violence shelters and family shelters, or now finding projects that my wife and I can support in different ways. We have an obligation to give back, but I think the real lesson that we learned at Jesuit when we had our community service, and that I've learned throughout my life, is every time you give back in whatever way, you get so much more in return. And it is the best way. I think the best way to build joy is to give back to other people, not to do it for yourself.
Absolutely right.
So,
Chris, I got a chance to see your classmate Mike Grimes coming in tonight. He wanted me to razz you a little bit.
Good. I love Mike.
Of course, Mike on the athletic coaching staff here at Jesuit, a baseball coach. You have a unique perspective. In addition to being an alum, you're also a parent. A parent of a recent grad. Your son, Christopher, class of 21.
That's right.
I believe it was. A lot of our listeners or viewers are parents. Some of them are parents who are actually here tonight, who then come back and listen later in the week, watch, later in the week. You've gotten an opportunity to speak to students and speak to young men. What about parents? What's your message to parents? As it's challenging to be the parent of a teenager in 2025. What's your message to parents and those going through what you and your wife have been through over the last 10 years?
Well, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but those 4 years go by in a blink.
Yeah.
And my message would be to be present and to be there for every moment with every, this is homecoming. In all those moments, and Jesuit is such a great community, and be a part of that community and try to give back, whether it's serving on the auction committee or whatever, whatever activities. There's many ways to give back throughout Jesuit and be a part of the community. Every parent has that opportunity to get involved.
And a lot of them are here tonight. I only have one other question, which my wife texted me. I stepped out and was getting a drink of water, and you guys were talking. And she said, I heard them talk about sleep experts. I don't sleep. I'm an insomniac. So she said, ask him how to get a better night's sleep. So I don't think it's that
a personal advice
expert.
here. Okay.
I don't think that's quite.
It starts with getting a good mattress, but what I love is that lots of people are talking about it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, that's the health is the three-legged stool, and there's fitness, there's nutrition, and people are figuring out if you don't have the sleep component, you don't get it. And having a nice place to sleep, not a bed, but I use a sleep mask and I take melatonin and I knock myself out, and it makes a good difference.
There you go.
So,
I also need to lay off the taquitos down the hall.
No, I thought you were going to say lay off the tequila. That too.
Well, yeah, that too.
That's not good for sleep.
Less of a problem maybe for Chris Ackles, the tequila. So we'll get you out of here on this one, Chris. You talked about ways to give back to the community. And, one of the things we talked about with Sean last week was you've had an opportunity to come back to Jesuit to give a few presentations. Once I know to the entrepreneurial club, I believe, as you talked about sort of what is it like to go out in business and to start your own business and do those sorts of things. So tell us about what that experience was like. What's kind of a message that you'd give to the young men there who are interested in business as high school students? And what was that experience like for you to go back to Jesuit and to be able to start to form some of the young men that were like yourself just a few decades before?
Well, I think it's probably the scariest thing you could ever do, and it's the biggest test of your own mettle that you can do. It is, you put it all on the line, and if we didn't succeed, we would have lost everything and probably not been able to afford to send my son to Jesuit. So we're grateful that the company succeeded, but it's so fun to be able to create something in your own vision and do things the right way. I probably worked for more bad bosses than I did good bosses, and I always wanted to be the good boss that people wanted to come to work for, and I wanted all the management to be good bosses that people wanted to come work for. And so that was fun to be able to create that from nothing.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Chris Cook, class of 1986, for joining us here. Congratulations again on the Distinguished Alum Award, and couldn't think of a better guy to receive it. Look forward to getting to know each other a lot better here over the next few years, Chris.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being with us. We're gonna
Go Rangers.
Go Rangers. That's exactly right. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, Chris Martinez will have first half stats. You're listening to Jesuit Ranger Football on Jesuit Ranger Sports Network.
I said, no, you're a smart guy. You're going to get in. But it doesn't hurt that your grandfather was named Alumnus of the Year this year.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
The timing was great for him.
That's great.
Team stats tonight for Richardson. First downs, they had 8. Jesuit had 9. Third down conversions, only 2 for 5 for Richardson, 3 for 8 for Jesuit. And Richardson was 0 for 2 on fourth down attempts. Rushing yards, only 57 yards on the ground for Richardson. That's very unusual. We thought we were going to see a lot more offense because they had 3 guys that averaged almost 8 yards a carry coming into this game. 209 yards through the air for Richardson, 266 yards of total offense. They did throw those 2 interceptions. Jesuit on the offensive side, 55 yards on the ground, 114 yards through the air, 169 yards total offense. Jesuit punted the ball 3 times. Richardson only punted the ball once. 2 turnovers for Richardson. That turned into 3 points for Jesuit. Time of possession, very even, 12.5 minutes to 11.5 minutes for Jesuit. Individually, Zach Brazil, 9 carries, 53 yards. Tydrick Hamilton, 1 carry for 4 yards. And we have not seen Rico Harris, number 20, carry the ball today. Those are the 3 guys that came in that they were averaging about 200 yards combined per game. Lucas Sawyer, very productive first half, 9 completions, 209 yards, 2 interceptions. He hit Jacob Watson once for 22. Jaden Hernandez, 3 catches for 51 yards, including a 21-yard catch. Every catch that Jaden had resulted in a first down. Damian Crow, 3 catches for 109 yards, including that 71-yard touchdown. And Chris Thibodeau, 2 catches for 27 yards. On the Jesuit side, Beck Berry, 21 yards on 8 carries. Shane Parker had 30 yards on 2 carries, including that 29-yard run. Ty DeBoo, 7-yard carry. Beck Berry, 14 completions for 114 yards. He hit Cade Kirby 4 times, 25 yards. Harlan Buechler, 4 times for 19 yards. Shane Parker only twice for 34 yards. Lucas Meyer once for 14 yards, and Ty DeBoo twice for 21 yards. So all in all, I mean, Jesuit is hanging in there. It's a 14-10. We know this Richardson team has a very potent offense. We've mentioned it several times already. They've scored over 60 points the last 3 weeks, including last week against J.J. Pierce, who Jesuit, when they played them early in the season, only won that game 17-14.
No doubt. In that potent offense, you mentioned more than 200 yards passing for Lucas Sawyer so far. I mean, when you hear these stats, Chris, it's kind of surprising to see the score at just 14-10.
True. Well, twice we stopped them on downs. 0 for 2. That helps. Twice we've gotten interceptions on there.
That's right.
Unfortunately, it only turned into 3 points. The last interception was late in the first half. We just had a 4-play drive that resulted in time running out. So we stopped them. Only 1 punt so far. You definitely want to force a couple of punts in the second half.
You know, and the other thing, too, is, yes, the stats, you know, because of what Cooper Magoo has done as a punter, you're forcing Richardson into these long drives, score or not. So they end up racking up a bunch of yards, but they're 2 scoring drives tonight. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sorry for putting you on the spot here, but they were both 70-plus yards.
Yeah, they both started at the 25-yard line, so 75-yard drives. The other time they had they started on the 49-yard line in Jesuit territory, and they turned the ball over on downs.
Yeah, so both the defense and the special teams really making the Richardson offense earn every one of those points.
Yeah, for Jesuit, they got to control the ball. They got to hang on to the ball in the second half. They can't afford to have any turnovers. They got to have their defense forcing a couple of punts and maybe 1 or 2 more takeaways.
It's the Right Legal Halftime Show. Chris Cook from the class of 86, Chris Martinez from the class of 78, carrying us through. Life situations sometimes seem daunting and you don't know where to start, but the trusted professionals at Right Legal specialize in helping with all matters relating to estate, probate, business, tax issues, or any other legal issues you may have. Right Legal are proud partners here at Halftime. And, of course, our title sponsor for all Jesuit broadcasts, Veritex Bank. Proud to serve as the official bank of the Jesuit Rangers, sharing a strong commitment to serving the community and making a difference in the lives of others. You can learn about the shared values between Veritex Bank and Jesuit at veritexbank.com, member FDIC. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, third quarter action between the Rangers and the Eagles on homecoming night. You're watching Ranger Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network.
Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm calling because I wanted to tell you about this all-boys Catholic school here in Dallas. They have so many different classes, even AP and dual credit ones, and over 100 clubs and sports I can participate in. There's also a huge focus on faith and service, which I'm really interested in. Gosh, there's so much more. They have an open house on November 16th to learn about it. If we go check it out, I really want to. Oh yeah, I'm so excited I almost forgot. The school's name is Jesuit Dallas. Love you. Bye.
Welcome to the second half here on homecoming night at Ranger Stadium. It's Ranger Football Night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Kevin Fitzsimmons, Chris Martinez, Chris Ackles here live atop Ranger Stadium as we bring you into the third quarter. Richardson's got a 14-10 lead after impressive offense from the Eagles. The Jesuit offense will start with the ball in the third quarter, and our third quarter tonight is brought to you by Complete Land Sculpture, creating beautiful outdoor spaces for more than 40 years, from initial design, construction of pools and structures, planning, installation, to year-round maintenance. Complete Land Sculpture is proud to keep North Texas looking its best. Honored to be longtime supporters of Jesuit athletics and the entire Jesuit community. Contact Complete Land Sculptures at 214-949-4689. Go Rangers. Kevin, it was a 14-3 game, a big lead for Richardson. The Eagles looked in control, and Jesuit had a phenomenal final few minutes to bring this thing down within a possession, and now they're starting with the ball.
And the Eagles a couple times threatening to score. Ranger defense has come up big. We've talked about it over and over again already, Chris Ackles and Chris Martinez. But this Ranger defense needed to have a night like they are tonight if this game was going to be close. Now you look at the opportunity to get the ball first on offense, to take the lead maybe if you score a touchdown on this first drive. And that's exactly where I think the Rangers want to be at this point in the game.
Follow us on Twitter at Radio Jesuit. It may not be up and running tonight as a number of our students are enjoying homecoming festivities. If you have a phone number for myself or Kevin or Chris, shoot us a text. We'd love to say hello. Thanks for being with us here on a Thursday edition of Jesuit Ranger Football here on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Let's get this second half underway. Richardson's got a 14-10 lead. Jesuit's offense will start with the ball, a little pooch kick to get it going, and the Rangers will wisely fair catch it and take the 30-yard line as a good starting spot.
Yeah, interesting there. I think maybe a little nervous about Corson Lindley's couple of nice returns so far, Chris. So the Eagles elect to just kick that one short, a little pooch kick, and the Rangers will get to take over with good field position here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, it was a smart Gabriel James. He's like, yeah, I'm a defensive player. I'm here to block. So he just takes the fair catch. Ranger offense taking over. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. It's an empty backfield for Beck Berry. Berry will clap the ball into action, deliver off to his left. It's going to be Shane Parker. He's going to get brought down behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 5 or 6 yards. Christian Velasquez got to him quick.
Yeah, that's a great tackle that time, trying to get Parker out in space where he's been dynamic all year long. Velasquez makes the tackle. That's a big loss, 5, maybe even 6 yards for the Rangers that time, Chris.
Mary Catherine Ackles says hello. Thanks for listening. As I mentioned, shoot us a text or say hello to us on Twitter tonight if you're listening to us live. And, of course, if you are going back and watching the tape, we'd love to have you here as well. The Rangers will be back in action next week against Berkner, and then they'll close out the regular season at Nimitz 2 weeks from tomorrow night. Barry in the gun again, 2nd down and 15. Firing quickly off to his left. This one falls low and incomplete. It was intended for for Kirby. But, Kevin, even if he caught it, Michael Allen was right on his back.
Yeah, and we've called Michael Allen's name a lot so far this evening, and somebody's name who we haven't called as much as we would like is Cade Kirby. So clearly he's a great cover corner, number 7 for the Eagles that you see on your screen there, Michael Allen, and he's done well to keep Kirby in check so far tonight.
Kirby had an awesome game, Kevin, a week ago at Ralph and Joy Ellis Stadium against Irving, 3 touchdowns, and you know the Eagles watch the tape and we're like, we got to watch this guy.
Absolutely. He's leading the district in receiving touchdowns. You're going to take care of him early on, I think, if you're the Eagles. That time it's Buechler! Buechler's all the way down the sideline. He catches. Nobody's going to touch him. He's in for the touchdown, Chris Ackles.
Harlan Buechler, there's a reason he was a state finalist in the 200 meters. If you put the ball in his hands, he will run away with it. That's exactly what he did. 3rd and 15, a long pass from Beckberry, and a 75-yard touchdown strike to give the Rangers the lead.
75 yards, maybe 30 or 35 of it were after the catch, Chris. A great catch out on the sideline. He tiptoes along that Richardson sideline all the way in for the score. What a way for this Ranger offense to kick off the third quarter.
Magoo's PAT is good. Jesuits got a 17-14 lead. Dude, how does anybody catch Harlan Buechler?
You don't. That's exactly what you see
Holy
there when he
cow.
gets out into open space. He is going to be a great sprinter this year for the Jesuit track team once again in the spring. I got to say, Chris, felt pretty good to say Buechler like that. I was thinking about Ferris Bueller, so I'm glad I got the CH sound in on my first ever play-by-play call here for the Ranger Sports Network.
I apologize because I put you in a tough position to have to call play-by-play on 3rd and 15, but maybe we need to do that more often because you're 1 for 1 on calling touchdowns play-by-play. Yeah, you know, Coach Radican was telling us before the game, Buechler's the Jesuit record holder in both the 100-meter and 200-meter. He came in 4th in the state on the 200-meter. So you're talking about one of the fastest guys to ever wear a Jesuit uniform, and Beckberry put the ball in his hands, and Buechler did the rest.
He's obviously explosive as soon as he gets the ball. We talked about him coming back into the lineup last week from injury, and it's great to see him healthy. You can see what he does when he gets the ball in his hands and why we've tried to get the ball in his hands already a few times tonight.
Every scoring drive is brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group, vanguardautogroup.com. Kevin, this is a fun one.
3 plays, 70 yards, 58 seconds. Buechler, 75 yards. It's his first touchdown of the year, folks. Again, he was out with injury for several weeks early on in the season after, I believe, going down in the first game of the year, Chris, against Hebron. And so it's great to have Harlan Buechler not only back up in the lineup, but in the end zone for the first time this season.
Rangers fought through injuries to Buechler and Parker, but you can see a difference in the Jesuit offense here in these last 2 weeks as those guys are back and they're healthy, Chris.
It's funny to say it was a 75-yard touchdown on a 70-yard drive.
Because of the penalty, that's exactly right. I didn't even notice that. Thank you, Chris.
So Richardson, for the first time tonight, is playing from behind. Jesuit 17, Richardson 17, Richardson 14. The Eagles take the field at their own 25-yard line as the impressive quarterback Lucas Sawyer, who's thrown for 210 yards so far tonight, hands the ball to Zach Brazil. He picks up a few yards, and Joe Norman brings him down after a gain of 6.
Well, and you can't quite see him on your screen, folks that are listening, but this Jesuit sideline is fired up after that big play by Buechler. I think this defense now needs to capitalize on the big drive by the offense, get Richardson off the field early, and keep the momentum going for the Rangers.
2nd down, 4 to go. Richardson at its own 31-yard line. Sawyer has Brazil just behind him. They'll put a man in motion. He will play action, faking the handoff to Brazil. Throw to his right. It's caught. No, it's incomplete. Wait, what's the call? They're going to call this a catch, I believe. The referee is going to signal a catch. Nash Harder went up. He lost control of it, but it looks like it was after he had stepped out of bounds. So Beret gets credited with a tackle as the White Hat's going to discuss this with the line judge. The Jesuit offense thinks it was an incomplete pass.
And you can see what Coach J.D. Wagner thinks about that on the sideline, Chris. Obviously, he wants an incomplete call. The referees talking about this. Coach Hickman's on the sideline as well. This looks like it's going to get called as a catch.
It's ruled a complete pass to Harder, Sawyer to Harder, complete for the first down, a gain of 9 yards on the play. 1st and 10 Eagles at their own 40-yard line. Sawyer has thrown for 220 yards tonight. Hands the ball off, and it looks like Brazil is not going to get very far on that one, right back to the line of scrimmage. And a couple of Rangers in on the tackle. Parker Sherman leading the effort.
And it just been all night like that so far for the Rangers. Brazil going right up the middle. They have been right there every time to meet him. You mentioned Sherman. Gabriel James was in there on the tackle as well. The all-district junior from last year back for his senior campaign. So far impressed, I think, with what the Rangers have done in the rush defense, Chris.
This game felt like it was all Richardson for a quarter and a half, but the Rangers are winning the middle 8, Kevin. We'll come back to that comment you made earlier. Here's the Jesuit defense now on 2nd and 9, forcing pressure on Sawyer. Sawyer delivers a pass to the left sideline. It's caught. He's just shy of the first down, stays in bounds. Great defense from Andres Van, keeping him shy of the line to gain after the reception.
I'm not sure how Sawyer got that ball away, Chris. There were several guys in his face, and it looks like, as you see, number 1 for the Richardson Eagles, Jamian Winfield coming in on this short yardage situation. They may hand him the ball, huh, Chris?
3rd down, 1 to go. Last time they did a direct snap to Winfield, and he didn't gain a yard. We'll see what they do this time. They're in the gun. Sawyer's got Winfield to his left. Direct snap, but he bobbled it. He's going to go down. The Rangers got to him behind the line. They stopped him short. 4th and inch is coming. Phenomenal defense from Jesuit.
The Rangers knew exactly what was coming, just like we did, Chris. You mentioned Winfield bobbles that snap. He does well to even get it, much less to hang on to it and gain a half a yard. That's Wambacher in on the tackle. They're going to go for it again.
Gabriel James and Mac Murphy in on the tackle on 3rd down. 4th down, less than a yard. They're 0 for 2 on 4th downs. It's Winfield again, and this time he will push his way through and gain a couple of yards. The ball came out, but the referee says it was down. The Rangers take it back, but the referees have made it clear that they have said that Winfield was down before the ball came out. So Jamian Winfield gains 3 yards and gets a 1st down.
Even though the referees had signaled it down, I appreciate the effort. That time, I believe it's 22, Mac Murphy, who runs that in for the Rangers. As a defensive player, you're taught if the ball comes out, just get it and go score. We'll see what the referees shake out later. As you mentioned, Chris, the referees do decide to blow this one dead after the Winfield 1st down. It looked like maybe we're taking a brief pause for an Eagle who was down on the field, and now we're have a 1st down for Richardson as the chains move.
On 3rd and inches, the Rangers got a stop. On 4th and inches, Winfield got the yards he needed to pick up the 1st down. The Eagles are back into Ranger territory. 1st and 10 at the Ranger 47-yard line. Sawyer in the shotgun again. He's got Brazil just behind him. We're 4 minutes into the 2nd half. The Rangers have a 17-14 lead. Handoff to Brazil. He'll pick up 2 or 3 yards, and a couple of Rangers are in on the tackle. Looks like it was led by Gabriel James again.
Credit to Brazil. Again, we mentioned he's 5'8", 180 listed on the depth chart. I'm not sure that he looks that big from where we're standing, and he has just been in the trenches all night, Chris, and in these runs between the tackles, taking hard hits, so he seems like a tough kid.
Chris Martinez will be able to do the quick math for us. He had a long carry for 23 yards, but outside of that, he's just been beaten and bruised, averaging 2 or 3 yards a carry outside of that one long one. Here we go, 2nd and 6. Sawyer this time moving to his left. That's a really good throw across his body, firing over the middle. Andres Van on the coverage, but it was a nice catch to Jacob Watson.
Yeah, and for folks that could see it there in the backfield that time, it was running back number 28 for the Eagles, Tydrick Hamilton, who had a great block on the blitzing Gabriel James that allowed Sawyer to escape the pressure. And as you mentioned, Chris, just a beautiful throw across his body for the 1st down.
A really athletic play. That's going to put Sawyer up above 250 yards passing on the night. 1st and 10, 26-yard line for the Richardson Eagles as a new running back, Tydrick Hamilton. I shouldn't say new. He's seen some action tonight, not quite as much as his cohort. This time he'll get a handoff on 1st down, and he just got back to the line of scrimmage, not a whole lot more than that. It was Gabriel James again.
The run defense, again, an opportunity here for the Rangers to continue to show that they're not afraid of this rushing attack for the Eagles. So 2nd down, obviously you've seen some success with Sawyer in the deep passing game. Rangers really trying to hold on to this lead after you have a great opening drive. Now the Eagles have had the ball for almost 5 minutes, Chris.
First drive of the game for Jesuit. Cooper Magoo hit a field goal. The Rangers scored with under 2 minutes to play in the first half to get their first touchdown of the night, then scored again at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Here's Sawyer firing off to the right. That Ranger defense breaks it up. A couple of guys in on the coverage. It was Gabriel James along with Cabe Weissmuller, both of them involved. Rangers knock it away. 3rd and 10 coming.
Gabriel James, what an athletic play there from the middle linebacker position, Chris. He drops back into coverage, sees where that throw's going, shifts to his left, and then slaps the ball out of the air with his left hand. A great deflection that time by James.
We mentioned earlier that Richardson was 0 for 2 on 4th downs. They're now 1 for 3. Richardson is 2 for 6 on 3rd downs. 3rd down, 10 yards to go at the 26-yard line. In the gun, Sawyer looking to his left. He lost the football. It's on the ground. Richardson may have it, but even if they do, it's 4th and very, very long coming as Gabriel James got to Sawyer.
You really see what a dynamic linebacker Gabriel James is, Chris, in back-to-back plays. He's in coverage.
Yeah.
He makes a deflection. He gets to the quarterback and forces a fumble the very next play. No surprise at all from a guy who led this team in tackles last year, who was all-district as a junior. That's a big-time defensive football from Gabriel James on back-to-back plays.
That's an excellent observation. 2 different plays, very different parts of the field, but it's clear he's a leader for this Jesuit defense. On 4th and 22, Richardson will go into punt formation. Now, the Ranger defense is asking to make sure to get another guy on the field. It's going to be a late substitution. The Rangers will be flagged for that late substitution. Well, Chris, I was wrong. What do you got here, Chris? Oh, it's a delay of game. It's a delay of game penalty that goes against Richardson, so it's going to be 4th and 27.
It's one of those 5-yard penalties that don't hurt when you're that far into a positive territory. You need the extra room to punt.
If anything, if he's going to try to pin this ball inside the 5, it might have even helped him. As he's going to be punting this one away, and the Rangers' Corson Lindley is standing at the 10-yard line. He nearly lost it. The punt's going to get blocked. The Rangers blocked the punt. Now they pick it up. Was it who I think it was, Kevin?
Cole Wambacher, number 18, leading this team in tackles. Boy, it's a good thing that Harder is that tall for the Eagles, because that snap was high, but he brought it down. Cole Wambacher with the blocked punt, and I believe it was number 90 for the Rangers, Cole Johnson, who ultimately falls on it. Rangers are going to have great field position to start here, Chris.
Johnson fell on it. There was a play earlier where we didn't know who made the tackle, and you said, yeah, you do. You know it's Wambacher. Wambacher did it there, blocked the punt. Johnson came in, picked it up, and just like we saw in the first quarter, the Rangers get phenomenal field position thanks to a defensive turnover, and now Jesuits got the ball 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Barry's going to get his offense set. He's got a man to his left and to his right. It looks like Parker and DeVoe. Rangers will put a man in motion. Now he's going to hand the ball to Parker. Parker up the middle. He'll get 8. He'll get 10. He'll get 15. He's at the 20. He's down to the 11-yard line. Shane Parker. The Rangers are cooking.
We can feel just under our feet, Chris. The stands are shaking so much with stomping feet. Love to see it.
No huddle needed. 1st down. 10 to go. Ball at the 11-yard line. Barry hands the ball to Parker again. No, that's going to be DeBow, and he's going to be brought down. But what a turn of events as Richardson looked to be moving the ball. The Rangers block the punt and take the ball over. Lee on the tackle on the play. It's 2nd down and 9 to go.
Momentum leaning all Jesuit right now, Chris. This is an opportunity to capitalize on this, to make sure that, once again, in the red zone where the Rangers love it, let's see if we can score.
Yeah, on that previous play, Shane Parker, a 27-yard run. He's got 57 yards now on the ground.
Parker lining up to the left of Beck Berry. It's DeBow to his right, and they've got Meyer down there for blocking as well. Corson Lindley's off to the left. Barry's going to look for Lindley in the corner. A spin move, a catch. He's in. Touchdown Rangers. Jesuit takes the lead and extends it even further here in the 3rd quarter.
What you like to see from a guy like Beck Berry, Chris, is that even when he makes mistakes, the next time out, he does the right thing. A little bit shy on a throw, very similar to that one to Cade Kirby late in the 2nd quarter in the end zone. That time he puts it right where only Lindley can get it. Lindley does well to come down with it. Another big touchdown off of the punt block. Way to go, Jesuit Rangers.
Lindley's listed at 6'1". That might have been what he was in July. I think he's gained a few inches. He used every inch of it there to pull in a touchdown. Cooper Magoo's been busy tonight. His PAT is good. Kevin, halfway through the 2nd quarter, when this game was 14-3, you would have been shocked to hear me say that 1 quarter later, with 4:30 to play in the 3rd, Jesuits got a 24-14 lead.
It starts on the defensive end. The very first drive of this game, Simon McGoldrick gets a pick for the Rangers. A couple of big plays, no doubt that we're going to give away a couple of those to the Eagles tonight. They're a dynamic offense, but this defense has held up time and time again in the red zone, in long yardage situations. We get the punt block that time on special teams. Really, Jesuit is having a complete game here tonight, and it shows. All of a sudden, you're up 10 and the momentum's all our way.
No doubt, and the Jesuit defense has really turned it in. You talked about defense turning into offense. That drive started with a Cole Wambacher blocked punt that Cole Johnson fell on. So Wambacher caused the blocked the punt. Johnson fell on the fumble. Rangers get on the board. Kevin, you have the Vanguard Auto Group scoring drive summary.
Thanks to Henry Jeedy, who's here with us in the booth tonight, Chris, and to Brian Henry down the way. That's the third blocked punt already for the Rangers this season, so it shows what special teams can do. That scoring drive, as you see Cooper Magoo kick this away. 3 plays, 38 yards, 53 seconds. It's Lindley's first touchdown of the year, 10 yards from Beckberry.
Good for him. Corson Lindley is absolutely essential to this offense. He's also essential to the special teams unit, particularly on returns. He is very well deserving of his first touchdown of the year and the first touchdown of his varsity career for Jesuit sophomore Corson Lindley.
I want to take a quick break and say hello to our my cousin and somebody that you know graduated just a year ahead of you at Ursuline, Emily Fademski. Emily Nay Rayfield. So thanks to Emily and her fam for listening tonight. Great to hear from them. Go Rangers.
That's great. Jesuit grads, Ursuline grads supporting the Rangers here on homecoming night. It's a Thursday night homecoming game, moved up for weather, and we're glad you are with us here on the Ranger football night on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. The Eagles have the ball 1st and 10. They're buried deep inside their own 20. They'll gain about 3 or 4 yards on a first down as running back Zach Brazil is back in the game for the Eagles. But man, Kevin, you talked earlier about the middle 8. What a middle 8 for Jesuit.
About as good as you can get if you're Jesuit, and then you cap it off with the punt block and then the score. So if you're the Rangers, you've done exactly what you've needed to do up to this point. Now it's about finishing the next play, finishing this quarter, and then going into the fourth quarter with a lot of momentum, trying to finish this game strong.
Parker Sherman had the tackle on first down for Jesuit. They'll go back to Zach Brazil on 2nd and 6. He'll gain another 4, and will be brought down. The Ranger defense starts another 3rd down. Tanner Krug on the tackle for Jesuit there, and now it's 3rd down and 2 or 3 coming, and you see the Ranger fans getting into this 3rd down a little bit.
Credit to the Richardson Eagles, who have been committed all night to the run. That's 2 running plays in a row to Brazil, trying to force a short 3rd down situation, and they have.
3rd down, 3 to go. Ball to the 20-yard line for the Eagles. Sawyer has Brazil with him. He'll hand the ball off to Brazil. Brazil's going to get the 3 yards he needs and pick up a few more after that before a couple of Rangers bring him down, as it looks like that was Jack Beret on the tackle for Jesuit, but first down Richardson.
Yeah, Wambacher did well to also make sure that Brazil did not get outside, tripped him up just a little bit. I think Brazil had some more room if he does not get tripped up there. So first down for the Eagles, but Jesuit does well to contain it, so they're still under the 30-yard line on the Richardson side.
3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter here on homecoming night. The Rangers have a 24-14 lead. This Richardson offense is coming up on 300 yards for the night, but only 14 points to show for it. Sawyer fires off to his left, and the Jesuit defense is there quickly. It's guess who? Gabriel James, I believe. No, it's not Gabriel James. It's actually Andres Van on the tackle.
Andres Van that time, a great coverage. He sees what's happening. They've done that little jet sweep a couple of times over to Jacob Watson. Reads it well and comes up with a big hit behind the line of scrimmage. Great play by Andres.
Loss of a yard on the play for the Eagles. It'll be 2nd down and 11. They'll make a change at running back. Brazil has been carrying the Eagles here for the first part of the 3rd quarter. He'll get a breather as Hamilton will return. 2nd and 11 at the 26-yard line. Flag down, and this may be another delay of game penalty. No, it's a false start penalty, but Richardson has really been bit by the yellow flag bug, their 8th penalty of the night. Go ahead, Chris. You got the headset.
I just said 8 penalty now for Richardson for 50 yards. Jesuit still has not been penalized. That was accepted.
And these aren't like touchy, go either way penalties. These are false starts and delays of game. I mean, these are clear black and white penalties. Richardson shooting themselves in the foot. Second down, 16 to go. Sawyer has no opportunity except to do a pass play. He's going to have to run it himself. Ranger defense gets to him. We have another flag on the field as it looks like Sawyer picks up a couple of yards, but another flag is down.
Great job to pressure for the Rangers that time. Sawyer, it seems like he should have been sacked 2 or 3 times tonight, Chris, but he continues to evade the pressure. Looks like this is going to be a defensive holding call on the Rangers. So again, Chris Martinez bringing it to fruition as soon as we talk about no penalties on the Rangers. This one is going to be accepted, and I believe that's a 10-yard penalty. So now second down and manageable. No, it's going to be a first down, automatic first down here for the Eagles this time.
Yeah, the jinx is still in effect. It is a first down, 1st and 10 coming for the Eagles at the 31-yard line. Jesuits defense has done a great job and has helped the Rangers spin this thing around from being down 11 points at 14-3, now having a 10-point lead at 24-14, under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Sawyer, he now has Brazil with him again. Another flag, another false start, another penalty against Richardson, and another 5 yards moving backwards for the guys in white.
And that was by the center. He kind of moved the ball, and everybody reacted to it.
I think the Jesuit defensive line triggered that one just a little bit that time, Chris. They did a little bit of a shift in their formation. I think it made the offensive lineman of Richardson jump, and it's a little bit of a penalty back and forth now as the Eagles are 1st and 15 from the 26-yard line. We keep track of where the ball is right now.
Totally. The yellow flags are moving the ball more than the offense is. It's going to be a handoff, and now here's Richardson's offense. There's Zach. He lost the ball. Do the Rangers have it again? Right at midfield. The ball may have been stripped and recovered. Jesuits got the football.
Cole Wambacher does a great job that time, Chris, to track back against a sprinting Brazil, who I think maybe goes to the house if Wambacher misses the tackle. He gets that punch down formation in on the tackle, and it's recovered. I think it was Cabe Weissmuller who recovered the fumble that time for the Rangers, but a great job by Cole Wambacher to make the tackle, to force the fumble, and the Rangers have the momentum back on their side again.
Wambacher and Weissmuller have both had a phenomenal night for the Jesuit defense. He was beat. Brazil was behind him. He hacked at the ball, caused the fumble right at midfield. Jesuit offense takes over. They'll try to add to a 10-point lead as we approach the final minute of the third quarter. Handing the ball off, it looks like, I believe, DeBow is going to be the ball carrier. He'll get about 6 or 7 yards as the Jesuit offensive line starts to enforce its will. Jack Lee on the tackle.
Love to see this rushing game getting into form here for the Rangers since the very end of the second quarter. And now all of a sudden when you see DeBow and Shane Parker in the backfield for the Rangers, Chris, they're a dual rushing attack threat right now for this Ranger offense.
That's DeBow, Parker, and Meyer that you see on the screen there for Jesuit. Second down, 3 to go. DeBow and Parker are there with Barry. He's going to hand the ball this time. It goes to Parker. Parker gets the 3 yards he needs for the first down and 1 or 2 more as the Rangers continue to march into Eagle territory.
And you got to wonder from this offensive coaching side of the ball right now, Chris, you're the Rangers. I know there's only 30 seconds left now in the third quarter, but you're starting to think about things like game management, clock management, making sure that the Rangers take care of the ball, but also if the clock continues to tick down, time is your friend at this point, up 10.
There's a 1 second difference between play clock and game clock, so the Rangers will run another play here in the third quarter. 1st and 10, Jesuit is at the Richardson 38-yard line. Barry, with a man to his left and to his right, in the gun, hands the ball off to Parker. Parker to his right. He gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard or 2 more. Holds on to the football. Tackle from Jack Lee. The third quarter comes to a close, and what a quarter it was for the Rangers. They came into it trailing. They come out of it leading. Jesuit 24, Richardson 14 after 3 quarters as we head to the fourth on homecoming night. You're watching Ranger Football Night on Jesuit Ranger Sports Network.
With all of the classes, clubs, and activities here, the possibilities are endless. I honestly don't know of anywhere else where I could be an innovator, an athlete, and a leader while pursuing rigorous academics and forming lifelong friendships. There's truly something for everyone.
The Rangers have a 24-14 lead after 3 quarters here on homecoming night. The third quarter was brought to you by Complete Land Sculptures, creating beautiful outdoor spaces for more than 40 years. From initial design, construction of pools, planning, installation to year-round maintenance, Complete Land Sculpture is proud to keep North Texas looking its best. Give them a call at 214-949-4689. That's Complete Land Sculpture, your third quarter partner. The fourth quarter is brought to you by Rockmore Roofing Solutions. From kickoff to final whistle, Rockmore Roofing has you covered. Proudly serving our neighbors and supporting Jesuit Ranger football. Rockmore Roofing, your fourth quarter partner. Jesuits offense with the ball, little screen pass. These have worked well for the Rangers all night, as Ty DeBow is going to pick up about 6 or 7 before Swanks forces him out.
Ty DeBow proving all night that he's tough to tackle in open space. Does it again that time there. Chris Martinez just gave us this stat here, Chris Ackles. Time of possession in the third quarter. Jesuit, 2 minutes, 11 seconds. Richardson, 9 minutes and 49 seconds, but the Rangers score 14 points to the Richardson Eagles, 0.
That's wild. That's a great stat from the illustrious Chris Martinez over here to our right, Jesuit class of 1978. Thank you, Chris. Third down, 3 to go, as Barry's going to hand the ball to Parker. Parker sweeping to his right. He's got the first down. He's got a little bit more than that as he runs into a defender. Parker picks up the first down. The Rangers are back in the red zone.
Parker, DeBow, Parker. We're seeing this rushing attack really start to get going now. We have to credit the offensive line as well. This Richardson defensive line, Chris, was giving the Rangers offensive line fits early in the game. It's clear that over time we're tiring them out. The Ranger offensive line is starting to make some push on that initial front, and DeBow and Parker are racking up the yards because of it.
Henry, our spotter, said his dad texted him, did a completely different team show up at halftime? And that's kind of what it looks like tonight. And certainly that way on the line.
Well, we love to see this team that showed up for half number 2.
No doubt about it. Here's Parker again, carrying the ball to his left. He'll get hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down coming. But the Jesuit line has done a great job. And we talked about it earlier after a couple of touchdowns. The blocking has just been on point tonight.
Really, really good. If you think about the message probably from Coach Hickman and this coaching staff in the third quarter break, Chris, it is really important for Jesuit to finish strong right now. We're back in the red zone. It looks like the ball is just across the 20-yard line. Is that right, Chris Martinez? So
19.
The red zone is a place where we've continued to thrive. Really want to finish this drive and start the fourth quarter off with a bang to go up 17 points.
Second down, 10 to go, ball at the 19-yard line. Barry will roll off to the left. He'll get a block from DeBow. He'll fire it out of bounds. That thing is halfway to the baseball field. It did get tipped, I believe, so that's going to fall incomplete and bring up third down. Jamie Winfield, another name we've said a lot tonight. He's on the hurry for the Eagles.
Yeah, he's in the backfield that time. Very difficult for Beck Berry going to his left to make anything out of that play, but he does well to throw that ball towards Cade Kirby and out of bounds. It's 3rd and 10 now for the Rangers. Be interested to see what we do here. The rushing game has been successful in the first part of the fourth quarter as well as the third quarter. So let's see if the Rangers go back to DeBow or Parker here.
Cooper Magoo's had a good night tonight. If they have to go to him here right now, it would be about a 36-yarder. Third down, 10 to go. Barry sends DeBow into motion. Barry's now going to run to the right. He'll gain a couple of yards, but will not get the 10 they need. It's going to be 4th down and about 8. Coach Hickman has a decision to make, and he makes it quickly and sends Cooper Magoo and the field goal team onto the field.
Yeah, Beck Berry has tried that a number of times tonight, Chris, that little quarterback draw, quarterback kind of sneak up the middle on a what looks like it's supposed to be a pass play. It has not been successful all night, so Richardson has done well to keep Beck Berry, who again at the beginning of this game was the leading rusher for the Rangers, to keep him in check on the ground. And as you mentioned, now Magoo will come out for the 30
Yeah, about 34-yarder. Jackson Wagisback is on the snap. J.P. Livingston on the hold. Magoo on the kick. 34 yards, right hash. It's up, and it's good. Cooper Magoo has had a phenomenal night in all 3 phases of kicking, whether it's a field goal or PAT, a kickoff, or a punt. Cooper Magoo has been as much a part of this Jesuit lead as anybody else, and he gives Jesuit a 27-14 lead.
The Jesuit offense has had a good game, especially now as we look at what happened since the end of the second quarter. The Jesuit defense, we've talked about a number of times, a phenomenal game holding this Richardson offense to 14 points. Let's not forget the Jesuit special teams tonight and how important that's been. A couple of big punts from Cooper Magoo that put the Richardson offense back in good Jesuit field position. And then the blocked punt, things like that really make a difference over the course of a game. So credit to Coach DeLong and these special teams that are really working well for the Rangers.
Scoring summaries are always brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group. Vanguard Auto Group is proud to stand behind Jesuit Athletics with GMC, Kia, and Ford dealerships in the DFW Metroplex. We're here to be your hometown dealer. Visit VanguardAutoGroup.com and schedule your test drive today.
That one, 9 plays, 33 yards. It's capped off by a 34-yard field goal from Cooper Magoo. It took 3 minutes and 39 seconds spanning over the third to fourth quarter break. It's 27-14, Rangers over the Eagles.
I'm going to start saying this now for those of you listening live or on tape. Stick around after the game for the Coach Hickman interview. This is going to be a fun one. This game's not over yet. We undoubtedly will have an eventful fourth quarter ahead of us, but I cannot wait to talk to Coach Hickman after this game, as this thing's had a lot of action. Richardson on the return will have a little bit of a pitch, but it's not going to gain a whole lot of extra yardage, as the Eagles will still be deep in their own territory to start this drive.
Yeah, and he was looking for that right away, Chris. You saw Hernandez running with that ball kind of in one hand, like he was wanting to pitch it right away. So the Rangers clearly trying to keep the ball away on kickoffs from both Jacob Watson and Damian Crow back there, who have shown how much speed that they have between the two of them. So far, that's working to keep the Eagles back about on the 30-yard line to start this drive.
From kickoff to final whistle, Rockmore Roofing has you covered. Proudly serving our neighbors and supporting Jesuit Ranger football, Rockmore Roofing is your fourth quarter partner tonight. 1st and 10, Richardson at the 32-yard line. As they often do on first down, they'll run the ball, and as Jesuit's defense has done all night, they did a good job of meeting him after 2 or 3 yards and stopping him short.
Yeah, great job again by that middle pack of defenders for the Rangers. It's Sherman in there at nose tackle. It's James and Norman in there at middle linebackers. They've really done a great job all night to contain this rushing attack.
2nd down, 6 to go for the Eagles. Deep in their own territory. It's a handoff again. The Rangers get to him behind the line of scrimmage. Coach Hickman celebrating right away as Tanner Krug got to him.
That is a big-time play by Tanner Krug back in the backfield. He's coming off the end position, but still gets to Brazil that time before he can get to the line of scrimmage. A great play that time by Krug.
Brazil came into this game averaging 7.6 yards a carry. Today he's only at 4.8. So.
And that's with a couple of big carries mixed in. I mean, he may be down below 4 or even below 3 on some of the other averages. 3rd down long ahead of Meyer. Oh, he's going to throw to his right. A nice play. Man, this kid's good. And the Eagles have some room to move. That's a really impressive, shifty play from Lucas Sawyer to even keep the play alive, much less go gain 20 yards.
On what looked like he had absolutely no options left, he finally finds it was Tydrick Henderson that time in. Is it Henderson, Tydrick? In for the Eagles, that Tydrick Hamilton, in for the Eagles that time at running back. I mean, Sawyer evades the pressure again and finds him at the very last second, was almost across the line of scrimmage. It's 1st down now in Jesuit territory for the Eagles.
At the 39-yard line, it was Murphy that forced him out of bounds. 1st and 10. Here is Sawyer again, looking to his left, firing. It's incomplete. The pass was a little bit high, and the Rangers got some really great coverage from Andres Van. Jaden Hernandez again the target, but that one missed him a little bit high.
Yeah, Lucas Sawyer really has a strong arm, Chris. You can just tell.
Yeah.
He dropped right back and slung that ball out to the left. It's over Hernandez's head just a little bit, but he makes that throw look easy. He's got plenty of power out there.
He's got kind of a 3/4 delivery, a little bit of a kind of a Patrick Mahomes type delivery out to the right of his body as we're going to get a handoff here, and it's Hamilton. Ooh, we got hit hard. Hamilton gained about 2 or 3 yards, but he gets hit. It'll be a 3rd and long coming for Richardson. Kevin, I have to get a Notre Dame reference and a Chief reference in to all the broadcasts.
We may as well. If you're in football as much as you are, if you're connected to teams like the Irish and the Chiefs, we got to do it. It's great to see the Rangers playing well and to be able to make those kind of references in a game like this. We love to see it.
Good thing. 3rd down, 7 to go. Sawyer back, dumping off to his right. Here's Hamilton. He's got one man to beat. He does get past him. He gets the first down he needs. Hamilton's been busy this drive. Wambacher brought him down, but the Eagles are in scoring drive type territory at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, the Rangers bring pressure that time. It was Joe Norman who comes unblocked on the play. You think he's going to get to Sawyer before he gets it off, but he does not. Sawyer finds the open man for a first down.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. 7:42 to play in regulation here at Ranger Field on homecoming Thursday night. Handoff up the middle, gain of 3 or 4 yards for the Eagles.
With as much time left in the game, 7:30, the Eagles continuing to stay committed to that rushing attack as we see a player who's down on the field here. We'll take a quick break. It's 2nd down for the Eagles. It's really been impressive to see how much Brazil has gone in between the tackles and made those little short yardage gains, because it means now that the Eagles have 2nd and 6. And we've talked about how important it is in later down situations, 3rd down, especially 4th down, obviously, to have those shorter yardages.
Stay with us for the Mosley Dental Group post-game show coming up in 7 minutes and 23 seconds of game clock. It has been a wild ride tonight, Kevin. Richardson had a 14-3 lead early in the 2nd quarter. Since then, I was about to say since then it's been all Jesuit. It really hasn't. Richardson's gained a ton of yards. They've had the ball a lot, but Jesuits' defense and special teams have put the hands in the ball of Jesuits' offense, and they've put 24 points on the board.
The bend, not break defense.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely, and the statistics will continue to show, I think, even after this game is over, that it has been a very Richardson-heavy offensive night.
2nd down, 6 to go. Ball at the 21-yard line. Here's Sawyer to his right, throwing over the middle, touchdown. It's a great pass to Damian Crow. It looked a lot like the scoring play for their first touchdown of the evening back in the 1st quarter. Crow wide open over the middle, and Richardson's back in pay dirt for the first time in the 2nd half.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a little bit of a miscommunication in the Jesuit secondary. That time Crow was wide open over the middle, so it's an easy one for Sawyer to find for the touchdown. And now we got ourselves a ball game, Chris, as the PAT is up and in for the Richardson Eagles. It's 27-21, Jesuit up 6.
Kenneth Flores hits the PAT. It's a 6-point game with 7 minutes and 14 seconds to play. One thing that you have to love about Texas high school football, a lot can happen in 7 minutes and 14 seconds. We've seen it all night tonight, and we anticipate a lot can happen here between now and the end of regulation. Scoring drive summaries are always brought to you by Vanguard Auto Group. Visit vanguardautogroup.com to schedule your test drive today, as in just a moment, Chris Martinez will get us the scoring drive summary there for Richardson, and we'll be taking a look at some of that time of possession statistic, which the Eagles are dominating, but the Rangers have the lead on the scoreboard, Kevin.
Scoring drive that time, thanks to Chris Martinez. 7 plays, 69 yards, 2 minutes, 27 seconds. It's Crow, 21 yards, his 2nd touchdown tonight, 5th on the season. Sawyer continuing to rack up the touchdowns and the yards as the 2nd best quarterback in District 7 6A.
Well, in a game where it only takes 2 minutes to go 76 yards, we got a lot of football to play with 7:14 on the clock, and Jesuits got a 27-21 lead. Kevin, you said earlier that Coach Hickman's message to his team at this point, you've got to keep your foot on the gas pedal and finish this thing off.
With as good as this Richardson offense is, this is not the time to stop scoring points if you're the Rangers, as they kick it back deep now to Andres Van on the return. They want to put some points back on the board here if you're the Rangers.
Yeah, the kick from Flores, the return from Van, it's going to be about a 30-yard return, as the Rangers are going to end up in good field position at the 35-yard line. Christian Velasquez had the tackle for the Eagles, and Jesuits' offense comes back on the field at its own 35.
You know, Chris, as we've looked at the season so far this year, it's been a lot of not close games.
Yeah.
either in either favor, right? Jesuits lost some big ones. Jesuits won a couple of big ones. So it's great, I think, for this team to have an opportunity to close out a game where you're up 6 points with 7 minutes to go. Now is an important time for Beck Berry and this offense to take care of the football.
Lucas Meyer to his right, Shane Parker to his left. The handoff is to Parker from Berry. Parker picks up 3 or 4 yards. You know, Kevin, we mentioned Sports Information Director Brian Henry sends us a packet of notes. You and I take a look at them before the game. I was reading through the notes today at my office, and I had that thought about, like, man, this could be a really good game, and it is.
You're exactly right, Chris. I will fail to send this broadcast to Clark Hunt and the Hunt Sports Group to make sure that they know that you were reading this packet at your office today.
It was my lunch break.
But glad to know that we were getting some prep in, and you're exactly right. Just as you predicted, this has been a close one against two good teams here in District 7-6A.
Second down, 7 to go. The Rangers at their own 38-yard line. Berry back, looking to his left. That pass is complete. It's Cade Kirby. Kirby picks up 9 or 10 yards. He gets the Ranger first down and keeps the ball moving before Jack Lee brings him down.
Looks like there's a little bit of a kerfuffle around the ball here, Chris. Cade Kirby might have fumbled that football, but the Rangers do come up with it, and so it is first down. Rangers, good fortune at that time for Cade Kirby to hang on to the football, and it's going to be first down here for Jesuit moving forward.
Yeah, great play, Cade Kirby. We mentioned he had a fantastic week last weekend in Irving, and you know that this Richardson defense has been keying in on him, but he picks up a key first down there. The ball is spotted at the Jesuit 48-yard line, 1st and 10 Rangers, 5:45 and ticking on the fourth quarter clock. Parker to his left, DeBow to his right. Berry hands the ball to Parker. Parker's going to spin and lose a few yards. He just needed to get past one more guy, had a chance to get positive yardage. Instead, he loses 5 or 6 as Ashon Savage brings him down.
Yeah, trying to make something happen in the backfield. It's always tough for a runner or somebody who catches a pass to make somebody miss when they're in the backfield. Parker can't do it that time. The Rangers continuing to let some time tick off the clock here, but want to get some yardage back here on second down.
Second and very long at their own 42-yard line. It's officially second down, 16 to go. Berry, empty backfield, rolling to his right. Hits Shane Parker, but Parker's lit up pretty quickly. It's an impressive tackle from Christian Velasquez. Parker only gained a yard.
Yeah, there's good pressure again that time in the backfield from this Eagles defensive line, and Berry just didn't have enough time to get that ball down the field, so you find Shane Parker, who's the nearest target, but it's not a big gain, and now it's 3rd and long for this Ranger offense. Would love to see something here to make sure we can keep this drive going with 4:30 left on the clock.
Yeah, with under 5 minutes to play, you certainly don't want to turn this ball back over to the Richardson offense with a whole lot of time left, so we'll see what Jesuit can do. 3rd down, 15 to go in their own territory. And the Rangers are going to call a timeout and make sure they've got the right play from Coach Hickman, Coach Livingston, and Coach Radican.
I think that's important here. Maybe need some timeouts down the stretch here, depending on what happens if you're the Rangers. But Coach Hickman really wanted to take time, give the right message to the guys, get the right play in, get everybody set, and make sure that we know what we're doing here on a 3rd and long situation.
It's been quite a game tonight. Richardson started hot with a 14-3 lead. Jesuit went on to score 24 unanswered points in those middle quarters. It took all 3 phases to do it, offense, defense, and special teams. So the Rangers had a 27-14 lead here in the fourth quarter. But Richardson is not going quietly. The Eagles scored just a moment ago to bring it to 27-21, and now the Eagle defense has stifled the Jesuit offense so far on this drive and forced a 3rd down and 15 situation for the Rangers. So the situation stands now. Jesuit's got a 27-21 lead, 4:23 on the clock, a very dangerous Richardson offense led by Lucas Sawyer waiting for their opportunity, and the Rangers are going to try to convert on 3rd and long.
This Richardson offense and defense was not going to go away. We knew that, Chris. Let's see what the Rangers dial up here on 3rd and long.
Kirby and Parker to the right. It looks like it's Profit and Buechler to the left. Berry in the gun. Back, looking over the middle. Pass to Parker, incomplete. The Rangers want a flag. They're not going to get one. Coach Hickman is livid about it, but Swanks on the coverage is not going to be flagged. 4th and long coming.
Yeah, it looked like maybe there was a little bit of a arm around the back of Parker that time from one of the defenders. The referees decide not to call it, and it's 4th down now. The Cooper Magoo comes back out for another punt for the Rangers. He's done well so far. It's important at this time, Chris, that he puts this ball back in such a place that the Eagle offense has to start, within their 30, but within their 20 would be great.
Richardson wants a last-second timeout. They did not have the return coverage they wanted, so the Eagles are going to have to use a timeout a bit unexpectedly. Kevin, it's appropriate that this game is coming down to the wire here because it's been back and forth all night.
You're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, from the very beginning, we thought that this was going to be a good game. We've seen good offense, good defense, turnovers, blocked punts. I mean, this has been a really exciting night of football, and it's going to come down to the last few minutes, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Chris Martinez, we talked about coming into the game that the Eagles averaged 420 points of offense. Do you have a total so far? They've got to be close to 400.
Well, Lucas Sawyer has 300 yards passing.
My gosh.
Now you add another 86 yards for Brazil and another 31 yards for Hamilton, so they're over 400.
Up above 400. Yes, this is and Sawyer 300 passing. It's really impressive. But the Rangers have the lead. They lead in the statistic that counts, which is points on the scoreboard. 27-21, 4:18 on the clock. Cooper Magoo and the punting team on for Jesuit in their own territory. They'll try to pin the Eagles deep if they can. Here's the snap to Magoo. He's got room. Well-placed punt to his right. Get a bit of a bounce. The Eagles are going to attempt to return, but the Rangers are right there as it looks like Cade Kirby on the tackle after a 44-yard Cooper Magoo punt.
Another good punt, and it does pin the Eagles inside their own 20, if I'm looking at that correctly, Chris. A great coverage tackle that time by Cade Kirby. It was Damian Crow. Looked like he was going to let it go maybe, but that ball bounced up high, so he decides to field it. Doesn't get much on the return, and now it'll be up to this Ranger defense to get a stop here with 4 minutes, 7 seconds to go in this dynamic Eagle offense coming back onto the field.
Yeah, Kevin, you talked about it. We've had a lot of games with lopsided scoring. Not tonight. 4 minutes to play. One possession game. Lucas Sawyer on the field for the Eagles. He hands the ball off, and here we go, as that is going to be Zach Brazil running it up the middle, picking up 8 or 9 or 10. He may have gotten an Eagle first down. He came just shy of it. 2nd and 2 coming after the Rangers' Parker Sherman gets the tackle.
I'm not sure if we have the statistic, but I'm not. Have they passed it on first down the entire night,
right.
Chris Ackles? I mean,
Right.
Zach Brazil has run the ball so many times on first down, and that time it gets a big chunk of yards.
2nd and 1, 3:35 to play. Sawyer hands the ball to Brazil again. He'll get the 1 yard he needs for the first down. Not a whole lot more than that. Good job by the Jesuit defense there. It looked like it was Simon McGoldrick on the tackle, but he did pick up an Eagle first down.
Yep, Rangers continuing to stay up front on this offense, protecting against the run. The clock continues to tick under 3:15. Now you certainly don't want to give up the big play, but glad to see them still up front, taking care of the run game early.
3:05 on the clock. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Here's Sawyer. Now he'll throw the ball off to the right. It's caught. I believe that's Crow. He'll get out of bounds. It is. It's Damian Crow. 2:58 on the clock. As you can see on that Tradio graphic, both teams have 2 timeouts left as Jesuits nursing a 6-point lead.
Well, and what you really like to see there, Chris, for the Ranger defense is as soon as Crow caught that ball, there were 4 blue jerseys in the area ready to take him down or push him out of bounds, which they did.
1st and 10, Richardson at its own 45-yard line. Sawyer hands the ball off to Brazil, as he often does on first down, and Zach Brazil picks up 6 or 7. 2 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock as Richardson's trying to get back into it. A Jesuit player is down. Wambacher on the tackle.
Looks like it's going to take a little bit of a break, maybe just a cramp here for one of the Jesuit players late in this game on a cool Thursday evening. So it'll be 2nd and short for the Eagles with 2:44 now on the clock. Chris, you start to think about timing and the way that these things work. You don't want to let the Eagles score, but if you let them score too late, there's no opportunity for this Jesuit offense to respond. Obviously, the Richardson Eagles need a touchdown to get to tie Jesuit, and then the PAT would put them over. So, they're not going for field goals. It's 4-down territory for them no matter what. But you do want to make sure if you're the Rangers that either you do not let this ball get into the end zone, or if you do, you have some time on the clock to be able to counter that score if you need to.
High school football does have a 2-minute warning now, and just as Kevin mentioned earlier, the clock stops under 2 minutes to move the chains on first downs. Both teams have 2 timeouts left should they need them. Richardson is officially in Jesuit territory. Second down, 2 to go, ball at the 47-yard line. Quarterback Lucas Sawyer has thrown for more than 300 yards tonight. The Eagles have gained more than 400. And we'll see what they do here, second down and 7. It's a handoff. It's Hamilton. He'll pick up about 3 or 4, and he'll get that Richardson first down with 2:30 on the clock.
Yeah, and what you're seeing, I think, is that the Eagles do want to take up as much of this clock as they can as they go on this drive of 80-plus yards all the way to the end zone if they're trying to get back into this game. So the Rangers content to give up some shorter plays, but as the field gets shorter, you can't give up too much.
Cole Johnson on the tackle at the 42-yard line. First down and 10 for the Eagles. Sawyer back. This time he's looking to throw. He thought about it. Now he's forced. He's in trouble, and the Rangers bring him down. A 10-yard loss on the sack as Tanner Krug got to him behind the line.
Starting to get to that point where Sawyer needs to get the ball down the field. He wants the deep ball. It's not there. It's not there. That's what we call a coverage sack, Chris Ackles, because the deep ball is not open. Tanner Krug gets to the quarterback. It's a loss of over 10 yards and a big play right before the 2-minute timeout for the Ranger defense.
The 2-minute warning hits an enormous sack. You're exactly right. Tanner Krug gets the statistic for the sack, but the corners and the safeties, that's a coverage sack for Jesuit.
And there has not been that many times tonight where Sawyer has not been able to evade the pressure. So right when we need it, the Rangers come up with a huge sack, a splendiferous play that time by Tanner Krug to get into the backfield and make something happen when we needed it.
Kevin is crushing me on the vocabulary tonight. Second down and 20 when we come back.
Could you repeat that word?
Splendiferous. I'll spell it for you,
All right.
spelling bee style, if you need
right.
me to. That's probably a 25-pointer on Scrabble, I'd have to say, depending on the way the squares lie.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Second down and 20 as the Jesuit players and coaches on the sidelines are asking the fans to get into it. Second down, 20 yards to go. We are inside the 2-minute warning as Lucas Sawyer's going to try to get the Eagles moving again. Sawyer back, throwing over the middle. The ball caught. It's complete. He picked up about 10 yards. A nice tackle for the Rangers, as I believe Jacob Watson is the one who made the play. Rangers get the tackle from Cole Wambacher. Big third down coming, Kevin.
Who else? Cole Wambacher in the chase that time. I mean, number 3, Jacob Watson for the Eagles is 5'6", 135 pounds. It's amazing that Wambacher's able to keep up with him across the field.
Third down, 9 to go. Fans on their feet. Ball at the 41-yard line. Sawyer back, looking to his right, throwing right. It is caught for a first down. Another great catch by Jacob Watson. Picks up 14.
It's Sawyer again putting this ball right where it needs to be on a little out route that time to Watson once again. It's good coverage. I believe it was Jack Beret in coverage that time for the Rangers. Just nothing you could do about a good throw and a good catch.
First and 10 Eagles at the 28-yard line. Timeout on the play, and I believe it's a Jesuit timeout. It is. I know Coach Hickman surely didn't want to have to use that timeout, but he has. And Kevin, now we're getting into dangerous territory where there's only 1 minute and 8 seconds on the clock, and you start to worry about if there's ever going to be enough time for another possession. This thing may rest on the shoulders of the defense.
Yeah, and I think this is a timeout that has a couple of different reasonings behind it, a couple of different purposes. You're exactly right, Chris. At this point, Coach Hickman's starting to worry about timing late in the clock here with 1 minute, 8 seconds left to go if the Eagles do happen to score. But also, I'm not sure that Jesuit's defense that time was really set and ready to go. So he wanted to make sure that his guys had a chance to be ready for the next play that the Eagles run here. Just going to throw something out here just in case. We hope that we don't have to get to this, but on every PAT so far for Richardson, Jesuit has been quite close to blocking that PAT. Sure. So wouldn't be super surprised to see if that comes into play late in the game here if the Eagles do score a touchdown on this drive.
Well, and one other note that you mentioned, we saw, the crowd making noise on 3rd and 9. Not only is it 4-down territory, but at this time in the game, it's a 4-down game for Richardson. You can't kick a field goal. So first and 10 for the Eagles at the 28-yard line. 1 minute and 8 seconds on the clock. Lucas Sawyer has Brissett back there with him. Sawyer hands the ball to Brazil. Brazil's going to gain about 3 or 4. Flag on the play.
Let's see what happens here. This came from it's a whole offensive holding call, as you can see. And again, the Richardson Eagles shooting themselves in the foot, as Chris Martinez tells us. That's their 10th penalty. We've talked about the discipline of the Rangers all season, Chris. The Eagles showing that their offensive lack of discipline has really hurt them, and it's going to hurt them here as they back this ball up now to almost the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be at the 38-yard line. It's going to be first down and 20 as Coach Hickman and the coaching staff and players on the sideline are pumping up the crowd for the final 63 seconds of this game on a homecoming Thursday night here in Dallas. First down, 20 to go. Sawyer in the gun. He's under pressure. He's going to be brought down behind the line. 3 or 4 Rangers get to him. Tanner Krug was the first one there. The Eagles call a timeout. 2nd and long coming.
It's a great sign when you're not sure which of the 3 defensive linemen got there, Chris. It was Krug, it was Sherman, it was Cole Johnson. They were all there on the tackle, the big sack. It's the second big sack on this drive for this Ranger defense, and a huge play with 39.6 left. And it looks like Richardson called a timeout after that play. Is that right, Chris Martinez? So Richardson calls timeout. They want to talk about it. They want to stop the clock. This Ranger defense has come up time and time again. They're going to put 46 seconds on the clock, it looks like. And now let's see what the Ranger defense can draw up on second and very long.
Yeah, that's a great blitz call at exactly the right time.
Perfect call, perfect execution, and the Rangers get exactly what they need from it. Now it's time to make sure that there's no big play afterwards.
46 seconds on the clock. It'll be second down, 23 yards to go, as you see the Jesuit entire team breaking the huddle and asking the crowd to get into it. We thank you for being with us on the Jesuit Ranger Sports Network. Under a minute to play. Jesuit's got a 6-point lead. Richardson's got the ball at the 41-yard line. Sawyer snaps, throwing to his right. It's caught, and he's in the end zone. And just like that, this Eagle offense strikes and ties the football game with 38 seconds left.
Man, who else is it but number 3, Jacob Watson, has been super dangerous on this entire drive. It looks like it was Cole Wambacher in coverage, who maybe is coming up with a little bit of a cramp there, so he's going to be upset about that. But let's watch and see what happens here on this PAT for the Eagles. They need this to go up. They just tied it to make it 27-27, but they need this point to go ahead in this game.
Kenneth Flores on for the PAT with 38 seconds. It's up, it's low, but it's good. He fires it right through. The Rangers did a good job of putting in an effort. And with 38 seconds on the clock, the Richardson Eagles have reclaimed the lead.
Oh, and an absolute heartbreaker there. If you're the Jesuit defense, you get the big penalty, you get the big sack on first down, and then a play like that. We've talked about this Eagle offense. They're explosive. They show it again there. And now all of a sudden, Jesuit has to make a little bit of magic happen with 38.6 left to go, Chris.
Woo! What a game this has been. Richardson jumped out to a 14-3 lead. Jesuit scored 24 unanswered points to go up 27-14. Richardson has responded with 14 points of their own. That was a 10-play drive spanning 81 yards. It took 3 minutes and 29 seconds, and it culminates on a 41-yard touchdown pass from Lucas Sawyer to Jacob Watson. It's the 20th touchdown pass from Sawyer this year. Vanguard Auto Group sponsors all the scoring drives. Really tough to see Jesuit down a point with 38 seconds to play and a kickoff coming their way.
Let's see what the Eagles decide to do with this kickoff, Chris. They've kicked a couple of short. We've got both all three, Kirby, Lindley, and Van, all back deep, all talented returners. So if I was Richardson, I would not put this in a place where one of them could catch it. But let's see what happens. The Jesuit return team here needs to make a good return to put the offense in good field position.
The kick coming from Flores with 38 seconds on the clock. See if Jesuit can recover from the disappointment, see what the offense can do. He will kick it deep. It's Cade Kirby at about the 6-yard line who comes in, and he's waiting for a couple of blocks. He'll bring it out to about the 30-yard line, and it'll be brought down. The clock will stop at 29 seconds, and Jesuit's going to have to go the distance here to see if they can at least get into field goal range.
Just one timeout for Coach Hickman and the Ranger offense here, so 29.5 seconds left. We've mentioned already that the clock will stop on first downs as long as the chains get reset, but as soon as they get reset, the clock restarts. So this offense is going to have to be in hurry-up mode. Yep. Folks need to get out of bounds if they catch a ball near the sideline.
Despite the disappointment, Jesuit's got to make a decision that this game's not over. Beckberry's in the shotgun. He's got Buechler, Kirby, and Parker wide out. There he is in the gun, looking to his right, throwing right. It's going to be caught by Corson Lindley, and Lindley gets out of bounds. He gained about 7 or 8 yards. 6 seconds came off the clock. 24 seconds here, and the Rangers are at their own 37-yard line.
And it's a good first play, just trying to chip away a little bit here. Beckberry throws it right to Lindley. Lindley catches it and gets out of bounds. It's 24.3 seconds on the clock. Now you have a chance for your offense to reset.
And you don't need all 70 yards here. You just need to get down to about the 30 or so for a possible field goal attempt.
Profit and Lindley to the right, Parker and Kirby to the left, DeBow in the backfield. Here's Barry in the gun, looking to his right again. He hits Ty DeBow. DeBow gets a block. He's going to get the first down. He's going to go near midfield. The clock will stop to move the chains. There are 16 seconds on the clock. Coach Hickman signaling the kill sign as they're going to try to spike the ball. They get to the line quickly. 16 seconds. Clock starts. Ball snapped. Ball spiked. 3.5 came off. 2.5 came off. 13.5 on the clock. The Rangers are near midfield. Kevin, they're going to have to get another 20 yards to get into field goal range.
Yeah, need another first down, I think, where you can get that clock to stop without calling the timeout, because you would like to have that timeout in your pocket for when you want to bring the kicking team onto the field, Chris.
Rangers getting organized on offense as they're going to shift Profit and Lindley off to the left. Bring Kirby solo to the right. Parker's also out there to the left. 13 seconds on the clock. Rangers down a point, ball near midfield. Barry in the gun. He's got some time. Looking to his right. Throw caught by Cade Kirby at the 45-yard line. It took some time off the clock. 8 seconds on the clock. Ball at the 45-yard line.
Let's see what happens here. I think there was a flag on this near side of the field, Chris, as the officials are discussing. This will help the Ranger offense a little bit as the clock is stopped for this deliberation between the officials. And it is going to be a defensive holding penalty, 10 yards, automatic first down, so they'll move this ball. My thought, Chris Martinez, is that the clock will start as soon as they're ready for it to start. So the Ranger offense still needs to spike this football or to run a play.
I don't think so. No, he's going to give the play clock signal, not the wind clock signal.
Perfect.
Jesuits at the 42-yard line, but there's only 8 seconds on the clock.
10, 12 yards?
Yeah, they're going to need to pick up 10 or 12 and call a quick timeout. Good news is Coach Hickman has a timeout in his pocket. Jesuits at the 43-yard line.
Keep an eye on Shane Parker in that slot left receiver position.
Yeah, Parker and Kirby are over there to the left. That's where he's looking. Throwing over the middle. It's caught, but no, it's incomplete. I thought he had it. It looked like he had it in his hands, but he got hit hard, and 5 seconds come off the clock. Is there a flag? I'm not exactly sure. A bit of confusion down there on the field as we're going to have second down coming. 3.5 seconds on the clock. Jesuit no longer has time to run a play, then kick a field goal. They're going to have to go 42 yards into the end zone, so Coach Hickman will call his final timeout.
Yeah, this Ranger coaching staff really had some questions for the officials that time, Chris. Wanted something like a targeting or a defenseless receiver.
Phenomenal game. I mean, I can't wait to Did 14-3. Jesuit scored 24 unanswered points to go up 27-14, and then Richardson put 14 unanswered of its own on the board in the fourth quarter to come this thing 28-27. Kevin, I thought Jesuit played really well tonight in all three phases. Not perfect, obviously, but all the offense, the defense, the special teams, they looked as good as they've looked this year, and it just is a heartbreaker to think they didn't walk away with a win.
We've been watching this Ranger team all season, and, statistically, maybe hard to say. Chris Martinez will be able to tell us more here in just a couple of minutes, but I think this is as good of a game as the Rangers have played all season, Chris. They played hard. The offense made great plays. The running game looked as good as it has all season, in my opinion, especially in the second half with Parker and DeBow. You can see Coach Hickman giving the guys a lot of encouragement right now and of sort of the way that we've grown throughout this season. The defense obviously plays great all night. Bend, don't break. Just that last drive where you give up the big play. And special teams, obviously we talked about it, guys making big plays, coming up with turnovers, block punts. I mean, it really was a complete game, I think, for the Rangers. Again, not perfect, always things to work on. But against a team that scored 60 points in their last three, I think at the beginning of this game, if we would have said, hey, we're going to hold Richardson to 28 tonight, are you happy with that?
Yeah.
We're going to say absolutely,
Yeah.
and you hope that you can get the win because of it.
Yeah, it's a team that scores better than 40 points a game, as you can hear Chris Martinez tallying up some final stats over there. Coach Hickman talking to his team. Kevin, this whole week is weird. You had a Thursday game last week. You had a homecoming dance Saturday night. You get into this week, you're pumped for Friday, Ranger Day, and homecoming game. Then it gets moved up to Thursday, so you cut practice a day short, your prep's a day short, your recovery's a day short. Now all of a sudden you're playing Thursday night. You get punched in the mouth early to go down 14-3. Kind of impressed with how these guys responded.
Absolutely. And this crowd felt like it was a Friday night crowd, so kudos to the Jesuit community for showing up as they always do. These guys need to have their heads held high as they go to the corner of the end zone here. What a great contest, a great fight, as we talked about all night. I felt like the Rangers played really hard tonight. The defense was pursuing the ball well. The receivers were blocking downfield. It was a really good effort all around, I think, by everybody. And unfortunately, sometimes that's the way it goes. You don't always come out with the win, even when you play really well.
The Rangers really have a lot to be proud of. You might see it on the camera there. It looks like Coach Hickman is going to do the interview, which after a game like this says a lot about him as the team goes over to hear the alma mater. So we're going to be joined by Coach here in just a moment. Coach, I don't know what to say, man. Really, really tough one. I thought your guys fought really well tonight. So sorry to see it fall apart at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about our kids and how hard they fought. We had a heck of a plan and executed. Took us a lot of settling there early in the game, but they're good. They're big, fast. Played our tails off. We just, give up a play there at the end. That's part of it. Our defense played great all night. Real proud of the kids. I told them, this is where we are as a program, right? People celebrate like that. Means we're doing something right. So, just proud of the kids. Proud of the way that they played. Proud of our coaching.
Walker had a huge night, a couple of big sacks from Tanner Krug. I mean, this defense played awesome against a team that scored 60 points the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our defense played really well. We were able to get pressure on the quarterback, which was big. Caused a turnover, and had an interception early in the game. But, yeah, I mean, just a big play got away from us there at the end. But I was really proud of the way that the kids played and how hard they played. They were leaving it on the field for sure. And, wish we could have Buechler back. He cramped up, and he was cramping the whole, I think second half of the game after he caught that touchdown. But hopefully we'll get him ready to roll next week. Yeah, I'm proud of the kids. It's a tough loss, but I'm really proud of the way we fought tonight.
Coach, we don't want to keep you. I got one more for you, which is this. So much of high school sports is about learning how to fight through adversity, learning how to be a teammate through adversity. When you look at the last week, coming off of homecoming weekend, the week gets shortened by a day with an unexpected move up in the schedule. Coming out here tonight, you get punched in the mouth, down 14-3, and despite all of that, I'm looking at your team right now, walking the sideline, thanking the stands, thanking their parents. Talk about your guys fighting through adversity as a team this week.
I think that's what we're about. You always have to fight through adversity, right? Nothing's going to go your way all the time, and when you get knocked down, you got to get back up. So our kids will be ready to go Monday. We'll come back, have a good week of practice. We have Ranger Day tomorrow, which hopefully they'll be able to enjoy. I think they will. Nothing to hang their heads about. I mean, it's a good football game, and we just fell short there at the end. So, but I'm proud of the kids, proud of our team, and we're going to build from this for sure.
Absolutely right, Coach. Thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Coach. Nice job tonight. A tough loss for the Rangers tonight with a final score of 28-27. Chris Martinez, this game almost happened in three phases. Richardson came out hot, took a 14-3 lead, and then the Rangers scored 24 unanswered, and then Richardson scores 14 unanswered in the fourth quarter. I know you're about to give us some stats. We do want to say an enormous thank you to our post-game partner, the Mosley Dental Group, providing advanced dental solutions and personal attention to our patient family, promising that you will never feel like an anonymous number on a chart. The Mosley Dental Group, our post-game partner. But Chris, tell us the tale of the tape tonight as far as the numbers go.
Well, that middle eight was very productive for Jesuit. 21 points in the late in the second quarter and early in the third quarter. Overall, Richardson has a player. The air, 107 on the ground. This is actually one of the better running games that Jesuit has had. 72 yards by Shane Parker, another 23 yards from Beckberry. Beckberry, like I said, 236 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 to Ty Debu. Harlan Buechler got a 75-yarder. He had 5 catches for 94 yards. Of course, and Lindley caught a 10-yard touchdown pass. Shane Parker caught 4 passes for 30 yards. Cade Kirby, 6 passes for 42 yards. So all in all, I guess the one positive, your discipline, only 1 penalty against Jesuit tonight for 10 yards. On the other side, Richardson kept us in the game, 11 penalties for 75 yards. So when you dominate that, and the time of possession was about 30 minutes to 18 minutes for Jesuit, they took the time of possession, they took the total yards, but Jesuit hung in there, and they got 3 turnovers, turned them into 2 field goals. You'd like to get more points off of the turnovers than you did there, but all in all, they hung with them.
And Chris, looking at these numbers, you mentioned the discipline, just 1 penalty for the Rangers. You also look at 4 for 4 in the red zone. Every time the Rangers get the ball in the red zone, they scored. Now, that some of those were field goals, but Kevin mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. The Rangers have been really successful in the red zone this year. They were again tonight. Just fell 1 possession short. If this game has an extra minute or 2, they probably get in the red zone again and probably score again.
Yeah. It really does come down to timing. Sorry, Chris Martinez. That's exactly what we were talking about as the Eagles were driving there late. Sometimes it ends up kind of who has the ball last. Obviously, the Rangers had the ball last, but with a very short amount of time left in the long field to go. So that's how football works sometimes, is who has the ball at the right times.
And I'd just say a what-if play, that last second to the last play where if he catches it, that would have been a very difficult catch because he got hit hard, and I think it was a good defensive play on the Richardson defensive back. But if he catches that ball, they're down to about the 30-yard line, and that's, why not? Let's go for the field goal.
And Magoo had a good night, so you never know what happens on that field goal. Thank you, Chris Martinez. I know they kept you busy tonight. I mean, man, almost 800 yards, more than 800 yards of total offense between the 2 teams tonight, and an impressive showing in a 28-27 win for Richardson. Kevin, as we are close to wrapping up our Mosley Dental Group post-game show, we look ahead to the next 2 weeks. Next Friday night, it's Halloween. The Rangers will be at Wildcat Rams Stadium taking on the Berkner Rams, and then a week after that, the regular Nimitz does not have a district win, but Berkner's a good team. Showed a couple of Berkner game is essential now if you're Jesuit trying to take a look at playoff seeding next week at Wildcat Ram Stadium.
Absolutely, and I'm just looking at Richardson's schedule so far. They lost to Berkner in late September, 14-17. So that's a close game between those two teams a little bit earlier in the season, early in the district slate for sure. So obviously that means that, they were maybe evenly matched then, so maybe a close game upcoming for the Rangers against Berkner as well. And as you mentioned, Chris, now we are at the point where a couple of losses in district, you think you're probably doing fine against a team like Nimitz. So the Berkner game really has a lot of implications for what playoff seeding looks like, and Rangers need to take care of business out there next week.
Berkner big winners tonight over Irving. No surprise there, shutting out the Tigers. So the Rams advance to 4-1 in district play. The Rangers fall to 3-2. So big game next week, Halloween night, Friday night at Wildcat Ram Stadium. Chris Martinez is going to show up in his Halloween costume. So we hope that you'll join us for that broadcast next week as well. Thanks for joining us on the Mosley Dental Group post-game show. Your final score tonight, Richardson 28, Jesuit 27. For David and Will and the whole team at Tradio who put on the fantastic visuals and made us sound decent tonight, we say thank you to them. For Henry, our spotter, for Chris Martinez from the class of 78 and Kevin Fitzsimmons from the class of 2011, I'm Chris Ackles. Thanks for joining us tonight. We hope to see you next week. Richardson 28, Jesuit 27. See you next week on the Jesuit Rangers Sports Network. And as always, go Rangers.